to meet again on this early morning. This is the 16 weeks already. Alhamdulillah, we have reaching this online courses on the Islamic online courses, business and management. Alhamdulillah.
Islamic in business
So
management.
yeah, Islamic business and management. Alhamdulillah. Today, inshallah, Dr. Siti Mariam will share with us regarding the optimum productivity with the Israf waste concept. Now already 1 minute. Doctor, you have 45 minutes, and don't forget to give 5 minutes for Q&A, Doctor.
Right, inshallah.
Doctor.
Right. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi israh li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Right. So, after several weeks, right. So, this week, continuation from supply chain and operation management, we are focusing on optimum productivity with the Israf concept. Right? So, right. So let's begin. Oops. All right. So, let us try to understand what is the Israf concept in Islam, right? So, the Israf means waste, right? So, Islam taught us deeply tied on ethical, right? So, ethical consumption, on the moderation, and also the stewardship of resources. So, now, when we apply to optimum productivity, it can provide a powerful framework for sustainable and balanced living, because we are not talking about individual, we are talking about society as well, right? So we are Israf in Arabic means wastefulness or extravagance or even excess, right? So in Islam teaching, it refers to not just for material waste. We also talking about overuse, misuse, or even inefficient use of time. It also is a waste, right? So resources and also energy and talents, right? So in Surah Al-A'raf, um, in the Al-Quran says, eat and drink, but do not be excessive. Indeed, he does not like those who commit excess, right? So we just need to eat just for our life, right? So it's not to eat more, indeed, not to eat little. Okay, right. So let's go. What we need to understand from the manufacturing sector, because this topic, this model, actually, this module 5 is mainly for supply chain and operation management. So I try to give an overview how the Israf concept in our manufacturing sector, right? Okay, so Allah says so in Surah Muhammad, O believer, obey Allah and obey the messenger, and let not your works go vain. Don't go waste. Right? So Allah creates human as Khalifah. We know our role, right? So to manage this world based on Sharia guidance, right? So in Islam, actually manufacturing sector has established long years, right? So we are talking about, for instance, Noah, the Prophet Noah, right? Manufactured ships, right? Then Prophet Dawood also manufactured harness, and Prophet Zachariah, we manufactured wood-based products, right? So this has been, we can read this in Al-Quran itself. So, meaning manufacturing sector is actually highly regarded in Islam, and actually it beneficial to society, right? So, however, there are several criteria that need to be focused by all parties, meaning that supply chain parties, all the stakeholders, right? So that we need to practice the process are Sharia compliant and impactful to the world of here and also hereafter. Okay? Right. So let's look into the fundamental element in manufacturing sector from Islamic perspective. Right. First is the fundamental of Tawheed. Right. So in other words, Islamic manufacturing must be based on Aqidah. Right. So by believing convincingly that Allah is the only God and the Almighty, right? So that's the first. This concept places Allah on top of everything. Okay, so therefore, all manufacturing practices must abide the command of Allah, as Allah is knowing, who knows what is best for all His creation, right? So He also said in Surah Al-An'am, no, those who have faith and do not taint their faith with wrongdoing, for such there will be safety, and they are the rightly guided, right? So second fundamental, we as human is a Khalifa who are responsible to manage and develop this world using Sharia compliant, right? So at the same time, acknowledge the fact that they are God's servant. We are the God's servant, right? So Allah remind us, which is, indeed, I will make upon the earth a successful authority, which is referring to us as a Khalifah for him, right? Thirdly, the fundamental of morality, right? So practices in the manufacturing from Islamic perspective need to base on high morality, in the sense that all the individual involved in the process must be responsible, trustworthy, able to work in team, beside avoiding negative elements such as cheating, stealing, exploiting, whatever, right? Okay, Allah also command this in Surah Al-Ma'idah. It is help you to another in, help you one another in virtue, righteousness, and also piety. But do not help one another in sin and transgression, right? So, and fear of Allah, verily, Allah is a severe in punishment. We know that between the Surga and Neraka, right? Okay. So let's proceed with the second one, the fourth fundamental of the, which is optimize the productivity and its quality, right? So this is severely on the manufacturing sectors. Then Allah says so. Truly, Allah loves those who abstain from evil and keep themselves pure. This from Surah Al-Baqarah, right? So actually, Islam has the best way in ensuring the product produced are beneficial to stakeholders, since the main concern of Islamic manufacturing is not only profit, but also rewards here in the hereafter, right? So we believe our next of life, right? So it pays special attention to tahara and barakah, right? So besides, we need to avoid anything that can cause subha, right? So this is reflect in the Surah Al-Baqarah just now. Right. So all the the four fundamental just now, actually the elements reflect Islamic manufacturing takes into account the dual dimension of our human life, right? The world and also the hereafter. So that's why it talk about morality. It talk about how we want to move our manufacturing sector towards meeting the Islamic perspective, right? So now, how? Based on the two, which is you already understand the concept of Israf and the requirement from Islamic perspective towards the manufacturing sector. So we want to see how we want to optimize our productivity, right? So let's understand what it means by optimum productivity, which is the highest sustainable output and also performance of our production, which is our manufacturing. Okay, so achieved by working smarter through effective time management, focus, and also efficiency. Right? So we also considering employee well-being and leveraging technology with the current era, right? So we have so much of digital platforms, right? So we need to use them well, right? So look into, I draw out a few, main elements in us to understand on how we want to drive for optimum productivity. Number one is talking about time management, how we want to avoid the waste of time in order to meet the Israf concept, right? Okay, so excessive so excessive procrastination, overworking, and also spending time on low value tasks. These are Israf, right? So what we want to do to overcome those in to meet the productivity principle. So we need to prioritize the task aligned with the long-term goals of the company and also the values that we want to contribute, right? So for example, we need to schedule focus on work session. We avoid multitasking because sometimes multitasking is wasting time. Times elapsed from one task to another task. Got Israf concept over there, right? Reduce time on social media. This is what we need to look at from individual of us. Point the finger to us first. How much we spend daily on the social media, which is wasteful, but we want to move it to the product to meet the productivity of ourselves. Social media not only from negative side, we want to look into the positive side that we want to contribute to the society, right? So now barakah in time comes when it used purposefully, not excessively. Okay. Right. So next, from the second elements, we look into resource optimization. Right. So let's look into financial and material efficiency because it most related to operation management and supply chain. Right. So from the israf in spending, unnecessary purchase, overconsumption, or even hoarding. Right. So these are israf. So how we want to overcome? So apply minimalism, right? Invest only in what adds value, right? So we need to filter what is needed at the time, how to prioritize, right? So example, streamline tools or software, reuse the material, right? Limit energy waste. So all these are productivity improvement, right? Okay, next, look into the talent and human potential, right? So we need to look, everyone is no underutilization. Everyone being occupied with work, right? So each half of human potential. Okay, so ignoring the skills, right? Some people, they might have talents, but we ignore them, right? Delaying self-growth, right? So sometimes individual is not true agency, right? So they let it be in self-growing, right? So doesn't want to even attend our class, right? To take additional milestone, right? In your life. So that's you are delaying your self-growth, right? Or even misusing strength, right? So how to overcome this? We need to develop and channel talents toward purposeful goals. How we want to utilize whoever talent, right? So with the purpose and meeting our might be company goals, right? So sometimes someone in the now era, in fact, I'm in the past in the industry, right? So things that the vacancy is in finance, for example, but the people coming, sorry, the vacancy is from a management team, but the people that coming for interview is coming from finance, coming from background, even electrical, electronic, which is not switchable, right? Because of the talent supposed to be is not being fulfilled there, right? So we need to channel them back to the right platform. Okay, right. So for example, here, continuous learning, mentoring. So all these need to be done, right? So in fact, engaging with a meaningful work. Training and mentoring is a requirement. That one is part of development. So we need to continue growing, right? Okay, next, the fourth one, mental energy. Right. So now we need to avoid cognitive Israel, right? So now if we are on the scattered thinking, right? Or even overconsumption of information. So, and you will be burnt out and may cause depression, all those stuff, right? So things that we need can avoid. We need to look into how to make a productivity for this kind of activities, right? Use techniques like deep work, right? Things that new, right? Mindfulness and also digital minimalism, right? So now we have a lot of IT platform, right? So we can use to avoid to take out all those what we call that manual works, replace with the system so people can do more effective, right? Okay, so especially on administrative portion, right? So in fact, we can remove admin work if we can change to automation, right? Okay, we can go into that later, right? So finally, I list down on the sustainability, especially on environmental and also social awareness, right? So Israf in the environment, wasting water while you are what we call that brushing your teeth, the water tap is on, right? So that one is waste. Electricity, the aircon is on, even the raining outside, right? Okay, the food and also polluting. So a few past, I think Prof Suhaimi, a few also talking about during fasting month how the waste of food become double and triple, right? So all those are impacting the environment, right? Okay, so how we want to overcome this? We need to sincerely adopt eco-friendly habits that ensure long-term sustainability. So, for example, reducing printing. Nowadays, nowadays it seems like printing is no longer become compulsory, right, everywhere, so everyone is well educated on that, right? So turn off the unused devices, right? So whichever we are not intend to use in next few hours, turn off the light, the aircon, the even your handphone, why not, right? Okay, during sleep, okay, compost organic waste. So that part of the productivity principle. Right. So let's go into how I rule out the model of productivity, but inspired by Israf. Right. So I list down the five just now is from the time we limiting the idle of excessive tasks. So by time blocking, you need to block your calendar, right? So start to use the calendar. In the past, we are using diary. Now calendar is online, right? So you need to be on time, right? Priority our planning, in the clashing how to priority the planning, right? Okay, money, we need to avoid unnecessary spending, budgeting, and also value-based purchasing. So we need to plan out what to buy in a month, how much we want to spend, right? So better go more on, in fact, all those stuff. It should be in the list as well, right? Okay, energy, avoiding overcommitment, right? So to avoid burnout, depression, all those stuff, right? So how we want to optimize rest cycle? We need to have our rest. How much time in a day, right? So smart work techniques. Smart work techniques, it will link back to digital platform. We need to utilize all those digital in order to work smart, right? Okay, talent, not letting skills go unused. Upskilling purposeful contribution, how we want to contribute more, right? So instead of all the lecturers, they have a good in writing, right? So to contribute to the journals, publication, all those stuff. So use it, right? So environment, from the Israf, reducing waste and overuse, right? So we want to optimize by sustainable practice, conscious consumption, right? So never overconsume, overconsumption. Okay, right. So now, in these are among the supply chain and manufacturing, these are the 7 elements that the source of waste in manufacturing. We have overproducing, we have this one is unnecessary production, right? So we just run the production without the demand or without the forecast from customers, right? So waiting, excess idling machine. A machine is idling because of the previous process has not completed yet due to some issues or what. So these are waste because the operator that take care of the machine is nothing to do, right? Okay. Look into transportation, which is the excess movement of material and multiple handling, right? So this one might be the storage is too far, right? So from production, so how we want to minimize the movement? So might be we need to have a small storage inside the production in order to fast withdraw of the material, for example. Okay, so over processing, this one is non-value added, right? So sometimes we are too care to yes, quality is number one, but among the processes there might be something which is non-value added. For example, checklist need to be filled up, right? So all those are unnecessarily, so we need to look into. Then if you need to study on the lean methodology, then we can know more, right? Okay, we need to assess value stream map, the whole entire processes, right? So from the inventory, storage of excess inventory, right? So we need to order based on just in time. Okay, we will come into that later. Excess movement, right? So this one is talking about the movement between the employees. We just imagine in the production area, they are working 12 hours. Within the 12 hours, they need to move here and there. It causes fatigue. And from the fatigue, may cause quality issue. These are the chain effect, the rattle effect from the excess movement. Is a waste, right? So scrap and rework, these are the major issues for manufacturing. If material has caused quality issue where unable to be repaired, then they need to scrap. If can be repaired, might be need to rework. But rework, there is no people can rework unless they need to reschedule operators on off day to come back for rework, right? So all these are waste. Okay, so let's look into how the scholar have their lean management tools. All right. So in manufacturing, they are being guided with the manufacturing lean management tools, right? There are so much of tools, so much of method we can use, right? So we segregate into two, which is under G, just in time, and also GDOCA, which is autonomous automation, which the simple word is automation. All right. Why all these need to be used, need to be applied, need to be implemented inside the manufacturing sector, right? So first and foremost is for optimum productivity, right? So we need to have a stable platform, which is stability and standardization. First, look into stabilization first. Then, once we stable, we look into standardization across. Right. So we have a lot of, from the bottom, yeah, we have a lot of methodology that has been applied. Right. So from there, from the left side, we have JIT. Also have another methodology tactical in ensuring how to meet the just in time. And from the right side, how to meet the automation. We have Pokayoke and Dawn, a lot of things here, right? So all in all, actually, we are heading towards continual improvement. And in mind is the aim for customer satisfaction, right? So if the company manufacturing sector able to apply this, it's whatever, because from the supply chain, from the stakeholders, right? So everyone is working towards the customer satisfaction, right? So towards the removing the waste, which is lean manufacturing. We need to eliminate waste. We need to maximize the value. We need to achieve the optimum productivity. Okay, right. So let's look into how lean manufacturing model with the Islamic, right? So now we look into actually lean production is aligned with the core Islamic values, which is avoiding israf and tadzir, which is squandering, right? Okay, they are the central tenets in the Quran and Sunnah, right? So actually, it appear in the Quran and Sunnah, and those founders actually might be they have came across this, right? If they are Islamic people, right? So then we look into the lean focus on eliminating waiting waste, improving efficiency, and continuous improvement, right? The Kaizen can be integrated with Islamic concept of ihsan. With ihsan, we are looking excellent. Excellent in the way that whatever we do, we want to do the best, right? So if we also eliminate waste, we also looking at improving the efficiency. Of course, we look into continual improvement, even come to the as us as individual, right? So we need to improve our day self, ourself. It's from one person to a better person, right? So we are looking at the word of ihsan, right? And secondly, on the niyyah, which is our intention, what we want to do. So we want to do better. We want to be a better person. We want to in the production, we want to producing better, good quality, higher output in order to be might be can go abroad, right? So all those is our intention, our niyyah, right? So all these actually ensuring activities are performed for the sake of Allah and to benefit the community. Correct? So actually, lean manufacturing and Islam is there is a correlation, right? And things that already spelled out in Quran long years, then only they put into their practice, which is into the lean. Okay, so we cannot deny this. Right, so Israf and Tabzir. Okay, Tabzir. Israf and Tabzir. We need to forbid waste. right? So just now we are talking about overproduction. Yes, we need to overcome those. Waiting time, we need to eliminate. Unnecessary transportation, yeah, we need to improve. Excess inventory, we need to go better management in inventory. Unnecessary motion also as well, right? So we need to avoid unnecessary motion, defects, and also over processing. Okay, all these are supported this prohibition, right? Okay, look into our second elements on under Sharia compliance, right? We are integrating Sharia compliance principle in the transformation of material, focusing on what is tahara, right? Tahara in Islam, which is a pure. Okay, things that are very pure, is no contamination, right? So we are aiming for the community welfare. So these are all under lean model that integrate by Islam actually. Okay, right. So look into next how tools and practices that just now we learn, all right, in halal manufacturing to prevent waste. Okay, to prevent Israf. Right, so look into traceability system. All right, so effective traceability system using technologies like knowledge management, data standard, right? So help tracks products from origin to consumer. Okay, ensuring integrity and preventing the need to discard mislabeled or contaminated products, right? So all these we can use IoT, right? In Internet of Things to connect sensor and device to collect and transmit the real-time data, right? So about the product location, environmental condition, and so forth, right? So next on the lean tools. Okay, lean tools such as demand collaboration, inventory management, right, and waste reduction are crucial for optimizing resources use and minimizing waste in halal production. We need to align with the principle of not being extravagant, right? So we can use big data to analyze diverse data sets, right? So including sales, social medias, weather, economic data. So all these can be integrated, right, to uncover hidden pattern and provide more accurate prediction than traditional method, right? So we utilize whatever that technology that we have, right? So next, from quality control and monitoring tool, right? So we have high resolution melting analysis. This one is talking about HRNA, right? Okay, this is a rapid, high throughput tools for detecting non-halal contamination, even up to the DNA, right? So we can use this HRMA, ensuring that only compliant products are processed, thus avoiding waste due to contamination, right? So halal certification and audits, right? So these to process of obtaining and maintaining halal certification involve rigorous monitoring and also auditing to ensure compliance at every stage, right? Preventing waste by ensuring adherence to Islamic law and preventing contamination. Right. So next, talking about GMPs. Okay, good manufacturing practices. Implementing good manufacturing practices ni including process standardization, right? Helps to ensure products are produced efficiently and without unnecessary waste. Okay. Lastly, sustainable packaging. So we can use material like certified halal plastics, recycled papers, and also cardboards, all those stuff, right? As well as optimizing packaging processes, reduce waste throughout the supply chain. Okay, so all in all, actually, we are ahead in all the Islam from the Islamic perspective towards the manufacturing sector in managing the Israf, right? So we have the tools, we have the tactical methodology, right? So all in all, right? So up to us. right? So the method, the tools has been provided. So we need to use it wisely, right? So some of the Israf guideline I draw up here, right? So for might be can be what we call that can be guidelines lah for those that involving in manufacturing sector, right? So it's either small company or even a medium or high or huge company, right? So how we want to moderate our spending, extravagant, right? In Islam, right? Talking about generosity over extravagance, all those stuff might be too small, right? You can enlarge it, right? Okay, how we want to use too much on your family, right? So based on our income, how we want to divide it, not to waste, because we are talking about the world and hereafter, right? Okay, then if you can spend too much on charity, what it be, right? So all these can guide, right, to manage the Ishraf, right? How do healthy spending, and also either how we want to determine whether we are extravagant or stingy. Can right? Okay, that's all. Um, my presentation for today, right? So I open for huh. I have more
Thank
time
you very
for
much.
answering your question. Yeah,
Okay,
thank
thank
you.
you very much. We can see from the chat box here. Okay.
Okay, from the chat box.
Oh, in here I think doesn't have the question, but if the participant have the question, is good direct question. You can raise
Yeah.
up your hand. Easy for me to unmute. Yes. Afrod Arifin.
No
I don't
question?
know. It's a,
Yeah, Assalamualaikum,
yes,
Dr. Siti. Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum, Dr. Siti.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, Mashallah, Jazakallah khairan for your presentation. What I would like to ask is this optimum strategy for using this of concept. Uh, uh, have you uh, elaborate more this concept and this strategy into some kind of audit checklist or SOP or etc. Thank you, Doctor.
Right. Yeah, Alhamdulillah. What is the name just now, brother? Thank you, brother, for your question. Right. So I believe so might be you are coming from manufacturing standpoint, right? Okay. Right. So with the 25 years of experience in industry before I joined education platform, right? So actually there are so much of um, elements, so much of what we call that tools that we can use. Yes, it is being the founder claim is from especially from the lean, right? From the lean perspective, right? So those that if I can bring you to here, right? Yeah, all these elements actually manufacturing need to use it, right? One by one methodology. They are if um, from the process, right? So first thing first, we need to look into the process improvement, right? So process improvement, whereby we need, in order to optimize the capacity, right? So we need to improve the process, right? So first thing first, we need to look into the value stream maps. You need to start there, right? So we need to check from process A to the last process, where is the bottleneck? And we need to remove the bottleneck, right? So maybe I'm not putting into my slides. The bottleneck is need to be removed. This is where come the methodology that we can use how to remove the bottleneck, right? So for example, if the bottleneck is because of the people, right? So we need to add the people to that particular process in order to gain more output, right? So first, or if the bottleneck is because the machine capacity, right? So the machine capacity can be looked into two criteria. Is the machine is meeting the high performance speeds, right? So if it not meeting, we need to increase the performance. So if the machine is too old, second criteria, right? So if the machine is too outdated, so we need to change, for example, then we need to change, right? So in order for us to meet the maximum output because of the machines, the equipment, right? So it's either the equipment is not meeting the standard capacity, or it is too outdated, right? So we need to decide, right? So if we need to change, right? So most of the time, the machine, the equipments, right, that we buy in the factory lah, especially for those in manufacturing, we know of, right? So after sometimes they are no longer after you finish your contracts, right? So might be 10 years, something like that, for the high value equipments. So you need to change, right? So if bottleneck just now, okay, first is people, second is equipment. Thirdly is the process itself. Sometimes the process is non-value added, right? So non-value added. For example, in the manufacturing, there is what we call that product changeover, right? So from one product to another product. So while product changeover, normally we always have a checklist, long checklist to tick for set up to the new products. All right. So I share my experience in the past. Okay. I'm attached to semiconductor, which is wire bonding is always the bottleneck. In my company, Intel, in Malaysia, in Kulim High Tech, we are talking about, we have 424 numbers of equipments for one process, which is wire bonding, right? Okay, but the thing is, we are meeting, supposingly we are meeting 7.2 million unit inputs per day, right? And output per day, right? So why, to a certain extent, they are not able to meet just because of changeover? Okay, changeover, it may take time, right? So because of need to follow the checklist, long checklist, right? So the checklist is printed manual. They put on the machine. So every time changeover, you need to tick this. You need to do this, the long one, 3 pages. Right. So we need to do, yes, that one we cannot avoid. We need to do because we need to meet the quality. We cannot have a shortcut, right? But the thing is how to avoid this, right? So what I did is, I and my team, I have to claim this because it is my PhD as well. All right. So what we did is we categorize, right? They are changeover that just a very simple changeover. Okay, this one is fast track, we call fast turnover, right? And medium and long, right? So you categorize first. How to categorize? Based on the what we call that, the type of changes, the next product to run, right? So because from the mentality of equipment people, technician, they need to set up. Oh, I'm given 8 hours to set up. So I made it take 8 hours, correct? So this is where we need to avoid the israf is that, the israf value. So what we did is we categorize. Okay, fast changeover, you just need 20 minutes. We already do some calculation, we already have some kind of guidelines, right? So only change this out of the 3 pages, only change half of the pages, right? Okay, so this category. Medium is just 4 hours. 50% cut already, right? So the last one, long, which is we are unable to avoid, and this one is 8 hours. Okay, proceed with it. But we need to control from input. So we need to give the what we call the percentage of inputs. How much need to go to the 20 minutes setup? How much to go to a 4-hour setup? And how much to go to 8-hour setup in order to make the line, murah, level, right? We need to have a leveling. Over here is hijunka. Japanese words, right? So hijunka, we need to balance the production. So that's the thing, right? So if you want more details, you can contact me personally, right? Because I'm very good in lean management, actually, right? So my PhD in lean management, right? So I'm over the time now.
Yeah, Doctor.
So I give
We have
free sample
Subir, we have Brother Subir, but because of the time, maybe Dr. Sarah takes 3 minutes more for another
Okay.
question.
Yes, yes.
Then Dr.
It's an interesting discussion. You may continue.
Okay.
All right.
From
Okay.
Brother Subir Awang. Brother Subir Awang. Let me check. Okay. Brother Subir Awang, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Thank you very much, Dr. Mariam and organizing committee. So basically, my question is very simple. So the content of the course is excellent, very good. But my question is how to promote, how to influence the industry to use this content. For example, you talk about the theory of Israf or Istikhlaf. And in the industry, we already practice like the circular economy or the waste management. But the thing is, most of the time, we cannot connect the Islamic value as you taught in this course with the practice in industry. How to connect?
Is it Islamic full your employees Muslim? Let me know first.
No, we open to the global market as well, global industry.
Okay. Right. Okay. So not only specific to Islamic manufacturing only, right? Okay. This is hard. Okay, this is hard. Yeah. Correct. So actually things that we are talking about Islamic values to connect with our industry, right? So from the as a personal, this one is my personal viewpoint, right? So it's hard actually, but we need to start somewhere, right? So how I implement lean to my previous company, which is they don't have it before, is hard. It takes me 4 years to go through because of resistance, because of a lot of things, right? So especially established company, but for us to make a change, right? Okay, so if we are talking about to make it uh, to make a success, right? So of course, first we start first. We start in our company first. Then we can go next, right? So in fact, in the company itself, if it's too hard, start with the small portion first. Start with the small portion. For example, I give you one example. Every time you start the meeting, start with a reminder about tools, right? So for example, okay, in the past, I just implement about 5S. right? 5S. This one I thought from the small scale, small portion of it. If I want to talk about 5S, right? So everyone know, oh, 5S is not new, right? But how you want to make it as a habit, right? So what we do is in each meeting, start with 5S first. Talk about 5S and talk the first thing, the two things that I implement, which is quality first. Talk about quality first, right? So any issue with quality, what is the problem with quality? What help needed, right? So then you talk about 5S, right? Okay. So once it become a culture, right? So we want to make it more culture as a habit. Every 6 hours, I put the alarm inside the office and production. The whole entire company, there is alarm. 5 minutes, 5S. Right. So something like ting tang, and then the music, right? So we started, right? So everyone stop. Whatever you are doing, now stop and do 5S. Okay? Okay, so everyone will be given a towel, small towel, or whatever you want to clean based on your subject work matters lah, right? So do it. Okay, do it now. Clean your table, clean your flower pots, or your filing if you are in the office, right? So things that actually is a small scale. When it go broader, it become a culture for everywhere. This is how Japanese work. Because my husband's attached to a Japanese company, right? He teach me how to do, right? And in fact, the lean tool is from Japan. If you can see over here, so much of words over here is from Japan, right? So that's the culture. It's become the culture later. Once we are talking about how to go broader, that means our partners also need to do the same thing, right? So this is start with us. So sometimes like Intel, there are so many subsidiaries around the world, okay? Right. So this person will travel around the world to make other their subsidiary over there to be success as well. They call as copy exactly. Right? Intel have one terms which is copy exactly. Whatever good things that you implement here in Malaysia or somewhere from initiate somewhere, and then all the subsidiaries need to use it. So yeah, I'm hoping that we don't stop to shine. Do it, right? Day and day we sharpen it, right? Okay, I hope so that I able to answer your question, right? So doa is another part lah, right? To ensure that we are successful with that, right? Inshallah.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much. It's very insightful and meaningful, mashallah. And thank you also for the participant who have questioned it. May Allah bless you, Doctor. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dr. Sara?
Yes, I will be sharing my screen now. Can you see my screen?
Okay, Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I think
Doctor,
it's visible now.
yes, Doctor. Because we take your time, maybe you can add on the what do you call time break.
Okay.
So
If it's okay by the participants as well, inshallah.
Okay, without further ado, Doctor, فليتفضل مأجورة, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we start. Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, Sayyidina Muhammad, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Assalamu alaikum, wonderful brothers and sisters. So today we continue our discussion. This will be our almost one before the last. So we have one more session. about the future trends. But in this session now, what we are going to do is we're going to discuss the governance framework. Just give me 1 second, please. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, so in this session, what we are going to discuss is the governance framework. We are going to first discuss what governance is, the concept and significance of it, and then we are going to see how it can be applied in businesses to ensure the compliance and of course the benefits and avoiding the harm. And then we are going to take a look at the global AI ethics landscape. So what are the available frameworks and how we can draw on them or improve them to actually build or develop our Islamic ethical AI framework. So let's get to it. Before we start, we need to understand what is an AI governance. What does it mean? So AI governance refers to the imposition of frameworks, rules, standards, legal requirements, and best practices. So everything that we can use to guide our practices. And this happens to for the purpose to govern, manage, and monitor the use of AI systems. And also the purpose is to protect the individual's core rights. These rights include data privacy rights and other rights in relation to the use of AI. So the AI ethics frameworks are guiding principles. They are designed to ensure that the AI systems adhere to ethical standards such as fairness, transparency, and accountability, and they help developers and decision makers to navigate the complex challenges and implications of AI. So with AI being injected into products and adopted by businesses at an increasing rate, ensuring these tools act ethically is becoming more important than ever. So it is very crucial for companies to adopt these. So how do we apply AI governance? How can it be applied for businesses? AI governance programs are the tools that we can use. So an AI governance program is a system of policies, practices, and processes that organizations can implement to manage and oversee the use of AI within the organization in line with the organization's business objectives and needs and customer expectations, and also the applicable compliance requirements. So in a sense, the governance program is the operationalization of the AI governance. Operationalization simply means that the program will help to make the governance actionable and practical by putting it into operation. So how do we apply, how do we implement governance? It's through the governance programs. So the governance programs will result in managing risks, ensuring ethical AI use. They will achieve regularity compliance. They will enhance the data quality and security. Of course, this will result in building the stakeholder trust once they know that this company is following a certain governance program. And eventually, this will lead to operational efficiency in AI initiatives. So let's take a look at the building blocks of any AI governance program. So this is a general overview, and it can be modified. So the rules here or the general structure applies to any governance program. So how does it work? We have 4 steps or building blocks of any AI governance program. The first one is model discovery. I'm going to go through each of them, but let's first take a look at the components. First, we have model discovery. So knowing what you have, we need to list or know exactly what are the models. And here we're talking about the AI models. What are the models that we have? Then we have model consumption. which is the actual usage or utilization of the models. Then we have the layer of continuous monitoring, and finally, risk management. So let's take a closer look at each of these components. The first building block is model discovery. So here, let me put on my laser. So here at the model discovery block, this is the first building block. It's about keeping a master list of every AI model in our system. So what are the AI models that we're using? When we say an AI model, what we're talking about is whether we're using, for example, ChatGPT, we're using other systems that are built by us, for example, or just outsourced from another place. So knowing what are the models that we are using. So the first step is the discovery, the inventory. What are the models that we are using? And we call this a model catalog. So we kind of list everything that we have. So this will help us to track things like which models are in use, how many models we usually use in our business, their version numbers. So whenever there's a new version or an update, we need to know what's happening and whether they have been officially approved or not. So all of this will help us in knowing. This is just the first level. We just need to know what we have. The catalog also records what type of data is used to train the models. So this is important because if the model, remember when we talked about bias, if the model was trained on data that wasn't properly obtained or it is biased in a way, we might need to delete the entire model and not use it anymore. But if we have, for example, version tracking, so we know which version used which type of data, in this case, we may only need to delete a small part of the model. So this will save us a lot of time and resources as well. So let's take an example to illustrate how these building blocks work. At the first level, we said we have the model discovery, so having a list of what we have. Let's say that we have a bank IT department that logs every new AI model into its central model catalog. So they have this model catalog. Every model they use, they will be recording it there. So when a developer creates an AI detect fraudulent enable. Is there a problem with the network? Okay. You can hear me very well, right?
There's no connection,
Hello?
a little bit problem. Okay. Can hear, but just a little bit only.
Okay, okay.
Continue.
Can I continue now?
Yeah, yes, sure.
Okay, okay. So in our example of the bank, when we try to design an AI to detect fraud transactions, this will include all the details of the model version and the security checks it passed before it is implemented. So this is the first level to know what we have and know the details about their usages. The next level or the next block is the model consumption. Consumption here simply means the usage. So this part of the governance will focus on how we actually use these models. What it does, it links each AI model to a specific business use case. So what are we using this model for? We need to know who the business owner is. So who's using this AI system and what the model is supposed to do. So this level, this block, tracks the entire life cycle of the model, from the moment someone wants to use it through all the necessary approvals from teams like the legal and security teams, all the way to when the model is retired and no longer in use. So this will ensure that every model has a clear purpose and gets the right sign-offs before it's ever used in a real business process. So now we get to know how the model is going to be used, what is the purpose of this model specifically, and so on. So back to our example, when we have this AI fraud detection model, before it goes live, before the people start to actually use it, it must get a stamp of approval from a team of legal, compliance, and business leaders. This step will ensure that the model will meet all the privacy regulations and it is fit for its intended purposes. Now, moving to the third level, which is continuous monitoring. The third block, which is the continuous monitoring, just keeps a watchful eye. So now we've identified everything we have, we get the right clearance to use them and so on. Once the model is actually in use, we need to keep a close eye on it. So this means that we should continuously watch for any unusual changes or maybe cyber attacks, because one of the challenges with AI, especially those who are relying on large language models, remember the LLMs we talked about, is that they can make up information, what we call hallucination. So sometimes the system is acting properly, but with the interaction of the new data, because it uses new data to be trained, so sometimes it can happen. It can create some hallucinations, and these will be wrong predictions, for example, or any kind of wrong information provided. So we need to monitor their accuracy and relevance constantly. So every now and then there should be periodic checks to see if everything is okay. We also need to track their performance and cost, because sometimes the cost will go up and maybe we need to make some adjustments to bring it down again. And also to make sure that only approved users have access to them. So it's all about catching problems early before they can cause damage. This is the essence of this level here, or this block. So again, back to our bank example. So after the deployment, after the system is in use, the bank's team use a monitoring dashboard to watch the fraud model. So if the model's accuracy starts to drop, or it flags an unusually high number of false positives, meaning that it says that this transaction is fraud when in fact it's not. So this means that maybe there's something wrong with the system or the model and we need to revise it. And finally, we go to the last level, which is the risk management, or the final block. So this is our action plan for if and when something goes wrong. So based on our continuous monitoring, the system may raise an alert. So this is where we know about the issue and figure out the root cause, what caused the problem, why is it happening, and then we document every step we take to fix it. This part of the program is often uses dashboards because we need to monitor consistently, and integrates with our existing systems. So it should be linked to the systems that we already use. So the ultimate goal at this point of the risk management is to have a clear documented process for handling all incidents. So what happened, and to make sure that our actions are in compliance with relevant AI laws and standards. So back to our example again, the monitoring system, for example, if it alerts the team that the fraud model is not properly flagging a new type of scam, so it's not, because the system is trained on past data. So if this is a new type of fraud or a new type of scam, the system cannot detect it because it does not have enough information about it. So this means that the team should immediately log the issues in a ticketing system and then analyze the root causes. For example, why the model is not able to detect this? Because it was not trained on this type of data. This is a different type of fraud or scam. And then quickly we update the model to fix the vulnerability. So now we can provide more data to train the system to be able to catch such thing. Okay, so these are the building blocks to how to implement an AI governance program. But the question is, why do we need to implement an AI governance program? Why do we need to implement governance to begin with. So here the final piece of the puzzle is to understand why governance, AI governance, of course we have different types of governance, but why AI governance is so critical to business success. So I think we've discussed some parts of this at the beginning, is that when we talked, I think, about the bias. For some instances, developing an AI system, such as the one used by Amazon for recruitment, for example, and it has a major bias for using male applicants versus female applicants. So without the proper oversight, the AI development can lead to serious risks. These risks include financial risks in terms of cost incurred and so on, and also reputational damage. So it is important. So we've seen examples of how the misuse can result in huge fines, especially when dealing with personal data. I remember the case of Cambridge Analytica and Facebook, when they used millions of personal data of the users. They sold it and they used it for political reasons without consent. So this led to a huge lawsuit, and they lost a lot of their reputational image, and also in terms of cost, because they had to pay a huge amount of money to settle the case. Also in sensitive areas like medical diagnostics. So these problems are real life problems, and companies need to be ahead of them in order, as we mentioned, so the building blocks include 2 layers of protection, which is the monitoring and the risk management. So before we actually have the damage happening, we need to detect it and fix it. So ultimately, AI governance, it's not just about control, it's about empowering businesses to use AI responsibly. And how they can do this? By having the right systems in place. So focusing on ethical design, focusing on continuous monitoring and transparency, the companies can build trust with their customers and the public. And then these businesses will lead responsible AI and won't just avoid the risks. So it's not, so in one side we want to avoid the risk, but at the other side we're also having gains to get. So we will see financial gains and make better decisions. So the decision making will also improve, and we will build a reputation as true innovators who actually follows ethical development for their businesses. Now we've seen how AI governance, its importance, and how it can be applied in businesses. Let's take a look at the global AI ethics landscape, meaning that what are the available frameworks out there that are developed by different entities. So let's begin by mapping the current landscape of AI, the AI ethics frameworks. And we can see that this field is dominated by some key players, each bringing different perspectives and approaches. So we have, for example, the European Union Ethics Guidelines for Trustworthy AI. We also have the OECD AI Principles. We have the IIIE Ethically Aligned Design Principles as well. And for the industry, or the companies that are the developers of one or some of the major AI models, so we have Google for Gemini, Anthropic for Claude, and Microsoft, of course. So all of these have their own principles or guidelines for developing AI. So let's take a look at each of them to see what exactly is their framework. So what are the main principles for each of these? Starting with the European Union Ethics Guideline for Trustworthy AI. I'm going to go briefly about them, but as usual, I left the links here, so you can go if you're interested to see more details about the framework. So what is the main approach for this framework or the guidelines? The AU approach is firmly rooted in legal and regularity compliance with the goal of creating a trustworthy AI system. So they define 3 essential components that makes an AI system trustworthy. It must be lawful, ethical, and technically robust. You can see the details in the link in the file, but this is what in their definition makes an AI system trustworthy. So what makes this framework stand out is its strong focus on human autonomy and data protection. So the AU views these, so the focus on autonomy, human autonomy, and data protection, they are viewed as non-negotiable fundamental rights. And the guidelines are actually designed to form the basis for future laws. So the focus is largely regularity. So they want to ensure that the future AU market will adhere to these strict standards. Moving on to the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, isn't it? So let's look at these principles. So here what they have, their general approach is to set global and policy-oriented principles. So their main goal is to promote international cooperation, because that's in their name, right? So they want to promote international cooperation and create consistent, unified approach to AI governance across different countries. So they're more into the alignment of steps. The principles are designed to give balance between encouraging innovation, but also ensuring that AI is used in a way that is trustworthy and beneficial to all. So we can see that their key principles is just balancing innovation and including also the inclusivity, the human rights, the transparency and growth to everyone. So one of the key features of this framework is its emphasis on policy coherence. So as of now, I think in 2024, if I'm not mistaken, but recently they have over 40 countries adopting these principles. So that's their main approach. They want to get international cooperation and something that is unified. The principles, they want them to be unified and shared foundation for responsible and globally aligned AI usage. Next, we have the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, the IIIE. So their core philosophy is ethics by design. So they have the ethically aligned design. This means that they believe that the ethical principles that they're talking about, for example, the human well-being and rights, and also accountability and transparency, these principles shouldn't be an afterthought. So not after you develop the system, then you think, how is it going to be accountable? How is it going to be respecting for humans' rights? No, this should be built into the very foundation of the AI system, just like any technical requirement. So if you are building a system, there are certain technical requirements, such as the robustness, its scalability, and also other technical issues that needs to be carefully designed in order for the system to work. So their approach is to include these ethical principles as a requirement, not just after we develop the system and then we check if it is in alignment with these principles or not. So they focus on human rights and well-being, accountability and transparency, as we mentioned. And one of the unique features of this system or this approach, the IIIE approach, is their recommendation to form diverse and interdisciplinary review boards. So this is a board of engineers, but they also want to get feedback from other stakeholders. And this will ensure that a wide range of people, from engineers to the community members, other community members, have a contribution in assessing and mitigation the potential risks from the earliest stages of the development. So before it is even being used at the very early stages of the development, this should be taken into consideration. Now, moving forward to Google. Google have their own AI principles. So they have a set of 7 broad guidelines that influence all of their AI development. Therefore, their framework is about building AI responsibly. The key principles are centered on making sure AI is socially beneficial. So this is, I think, the number 1 principle, socially beneficial, to be safe, it doesn't create unfair bias, and it is particularly unique and important aspect of their framework is that they explicitly state a number of applications they will not pursue. So I remember they included not using AI for weapons because this goes against the no harm, AI should not create harm, but I believe this was later on deleted or removed from their principles because we know that they are participating in a way or another in fueling the war in Gaza. So this was explicitly written in their principles, creating no harm, not participating in weapons and so on, but then they, I think, revised to make it more general. But generally, they claim that these are their principles that they try to use to emphasize safety, privacy, and scientific excellence. Another company, Anthropic, which is the creator of Claude, also one of the main AI models out there. So they have something a bit different. They have something called constitutional AI. So instead of relying on humans to constantly provide feedback, so the human oversight on the technology, their models are actually given a constitution, a set of rules or regulations, and these are to be followed by the AI. So what happens is the principles, the constitution, is drawn from a variety of sources, including the human rights declarations and other legal, for example, sources. And the model then uses this constitution to critique, to analyze, and revise its own output. So when one of Anthropic's models creates an output, it uses its own internal constitution to revise it. And this will lead to learning to be more helpful and harmless without as much human oversight. So this will reduce, in a way, the need for human oversight, for human intervention to improve or to revise the output. So this is considered self-supervising process. And it is considered a kind of a game changer because it allows for much more scalable and transparent way to ensure that the AI systems are aligned with ethical values, because we know people themselves can be biased or they are more prone to errors than the system. So when we have this embedded inside the system itself to have the ability to correct its own output based on certain rules, so this is kind of something different. So it's different than all the other principles that we've discussed. And finally, we have the Microsoft's approach to responsible AI. They have a framework, but this one is less of a set of guidelines and more of a systematic company-wide operational model. So here what they're doing is that they're putting the principles into the practice. The framework is built on 6 key pillars. These include the fairness, reliability, safety. I think you can see on the list if it's not very small to be read. Privacy, security, inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability. So these are their 6 key pillars of responsible AI. And their approach is that they have responsible AI standard, and also a formal internal committee that reviews products to ensure these principles are being followed. So they have the human oversight element more than the anthropic guideline or the constitutional AI they are using. And this makes their framework comprehensive top-down system. So it's applied from the top down, making sure that it is correctly applied, and this embeds ethics into every part of their business. Now, when we compile or when we compare all of these, we can see that despite the diversity in the origins and approaches used by all six, and of course there are more frameworks by different other entities, but these are the most popular. So despite the diversity in their origins and their approaches, we can see a remarkable similarity between them in the core principles. So here, the ones in blue, the underlined, we see accountability in many of them, transparency, fairness, avoids unfair bias. So again, this is fairness, privacy. All these principles are being repeated again, although the entity is different, the framework is different. So this gives us a hint that as if even if the cultures are different, the regulations are different, and they have different traditions, different priorities, when they are faced with the same technological challenges, they will naturally gravitate towards similar ethical concerns. So they will share the same concerns, they will prioritize the same elements or the same principles. So when we take these out, the similarities, we can see that the universal principles or the convergence of principles is as we see here. So we see that these principles are the most important because they address the fundamental human concerns beyond the cultural boundaries or the development stage or whatsoever. So when we see that fairness is appearing in the European Regulatory Framework, and it's also a main Islamic principle, or transparency, for example, is being valued in the Silicon Valley companies and also in the traditional Islamic scholarship, what we see here is a profound evidence that human nature and universal ethical intuitions are the same. So while the principles, so here we see that transparency and explainability, fairness and non-discrimination, accountability and responsibility, privacy and data protection, and finally safety and robustness, preventing harm, all these are shared principles that suggest the universal human concerns about the AI development. However, we've seen that these principles may be similar, but the philosophical foundations and implementations for them can differ significantly. I will explain this when we talk now about the Islamic ethical foundations. So when we talk about the Islamic ethical framework, remember when we talked about this, I think in the first or second session, we said it is a framework for evaluating and developing technology based on Islamic principles and values, seeing technology and knowledge as amana, as something that we humans are entrusted on, and this is our role as Khalifa. So this is our stewardship role on earth. And we've talked about the core principles, starting with the intention, being beneficial, preventing harm, and applying justice. So these are just the main, but of course, there are other Islamic principles. So when we explore the distinctive Islamic ethical foundations that can inform AI development, which are practical frameworks, by the way, because they have guided the decision-making in Muslim societies for centuries. These are the same rules that every other type of technology was evaluated against. Whenever something new comes up, the Muslim scholars will use the same source, which is the Quran and the Sunnah and the Maqasid al-Sharia, and the same source to evaluate the new technology. So this is just the same as any other technology that has appeared. So we can see how these can be applied also to contemporary AI challenges. So starting with the concept of amana, or the divine trust, which is the most relevant, because when you take this as your personal responsibility, when this happens as your own amana, then it is different than when you are trying to just comply with the regulations in your country that states that you should do this and that to be relevant or to avoid the legal lawsuits. So it's different. So here the concept of amana will position humans not as owners of the technology, but as trustees responsible for its ethical use. And this will create a profound sense of accountability that will extend beyond the shareholders or the users to encompass all of the creation. So we will be thinking beyond just to be legally compliant. So when the developers, when the business owners, the decision makers, everyone that is involved, when they consider this principle, they're thinking not just about the profit and efficiency, they're talking about the Islamic responsibility. And again, we said that we will be using maqasid al-sharia, or the objectives of the Islamic law, the protection of the 5 important elements, the religion, life, intellect, lineage, and property, to evaluate. So whenever we develop a new model or a new variation of a model, we can ask, does this technology protect or threaten the maqasid al-sharia? So does it protect the religion? Last session, when we talked about the use of AI for societal impact. So when developing an application to help with memorizing Quran, does this technology protect or threaten religion? If it does protect, then we are aligned with maqasid al-sharia. When we develop a technology that does not provide very accurate diagnosis for skin cancer, for example, one of the examples we've talked about, and we use this without the disclaimer then that it's not for everyone, then does this technology protect or threaten life? In this case, it does threaten life because you will fail to provide the right diagnosis, and this will have medical consequences, may even lead to death. So when doing this, when having this rule or this simple question to just align our development, our models that are being developed against, this will have a more clear decision-making process. It will help us to navigate the complexities of developing new AI systems. And we also have the concept of maslaha, or public welfare, or just being beneficial. So here we need to balance. So we will offer a sophisticated way to balance competing interests. So sometimes we may be developing a system that can be useful, but when it is further developed, so now we need to face the trade-offs between the privacy and utility, or efficiency and fairness. So this will help us also to kind of bring these trade-offs to a point that we can actually overcome the challenges. Now, when we align, now we're just going to go through the global principles and compare them or align them with the Islamic principles that we already have, and see how similar or the convergence that we have between them. So here, when we have this comparative analysis, we will see convergence between the Islamic and global frameworks. But it's not that they are identical. When we say that we have transparency in global frameworks, and we also have bayan, or clear communication, in Islamic as an Islamic equivalence, when we have fairness and adl, when we have accountability and amana or muhasaba or whatever, this does not mean that they are identical, because the philosophy behind them, the philosophical foundations, are different, significantly different. But in practice, they point towards the same practical implications. So when we take this, so transparency and bayan, they both emphasize the importance of clear, understandable communication. So we need to be clear about what type of technology we're using so that the user will know what is it that they are using. But having this as a secular demand and as an Islamic principle are different because the intention behind them is different. The alignment between fairness and adl is also interesting because fairness isn't just about equal treatment, but it's about just treatment that considers the context and needs. And this can inform the AI systems that are contextually sensitive rather than just uniform. So when we have everything equal, this does not mean adl. Adl means that every part we need to align or adjust to their contexts. So when we see this, we see that although these the different frameworks, the 6 frameworks that we discussed, and the Islamic principles, they emerge independently. So they were not planned to be having the same elements, but this just tells us that, again, what the humans generally are looking for, their main concerns, they are all the same in a sense. But of course, as we mentioned, there are some differences in the intentions or the philosophy behind them. So the previous slide here, so we have seen where the Islamic and global frameworks align. In this part here, we are going to see where the Islamic ethics offers unique perspectives. So how are they different? We've seen the similarity, now we want to see the differences. So while the convergences are important, there are distinctive contributions of Islamic ethics. So these differences do not represent conflict with global frameworks, but they provide enrichment and deepening that can strengthen the AI governance for everyone. The first element is the khilafa, or being a khalifa, the stewardship. So here, again, we stress the importance of positioning humans as appointed guardians on earth resources and technologies. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he created the humans, they were supposed to be guardians on the earth and its resources. So this makes AI development a sacred responsibility rather than just a business opportunity. And it will naturally incorporate also the environmental and social impacts that we need to take into consideration whenever we're trying to develop something new, rather than just profit or technical feasibility. Another distinction in the Islamic principles is the intention, the niyyah. So when we start to work on a certain project, technological project, we know that as Muslims, our actions are judged not just by their outcomes, but by their sincerity and the quality of the intention you have behind them. So this means that everyone involved in AI development and any kind of action, they should deeply examine their deepest motivations. Why are we doing this? This is important for us as Muslims, but it's not mentioned in other frameworks. So they're only related or only concerned with the outcomes of the actions. But for Muslims, we know that intentions are equally, if not more important than the outcomes themselves. Then we also have the concept of spiritual accountability. So it's not just about being caught doing something wrong. We have the spiritual accountability that adds to the dimension of accountability, just the secular accountability. So when the developers in Muslim countries consider themselves accountable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so this is their main source of authority, this will create even a stronger ethical commitment than just the legal or professional obligations. And this is drawing on the spiritual resources for deeper ethical motivation. So this will help all the stakeholders involved in the creation of AI technology to be mindful about their development, their actions, which will lead to accountability afterwards. And this leads us to the final element that is unique in Islamic principles, which is the concept of ajr, seeking reward in the hereafter. So not everything that we do, we want a reward in this life. As Muslims, we are encouraged to seek ajr in the hereafter. So this will provide motivation for ethical excellence beyond the market pressure or business cycle. So even if you know that this improvement that he will make to the system, that will make it more fair or make it more transparent, even if you are not being rewarded monetary or even the acknowledgement in this life, you know that you are doing this as part of ihsan, or as part of the excellence that you will be rewarded on in the afterlife. So this will create sustained commitment to the ethical principles, even when it's not rewarding, even when it's commercially challenging. So I think I'm also running out of time. So this will be, I believe, the final slide before the takeaways. So when we take all comprehensive framework, I'm going to propose a 3-tier structure that moves from the foundational principles at the core through operational guidelines and finally to governance mechanisms. So at the very core, at the foundation, we have the principle of khilafa, or being a khalifa, having this as amana and having the good intention. So these are the philosophical and spiritual grounding that will lead our efforts. So this is the element of why are we doing this? And then at the second level, we have the operational level. And this will translate the foundations that we discussed in the first level into actionable principles. So being guided by Maqasid al-Sharia and being guided by the various Islamic principles that we discussed, this will help us to evaluate whether the AI systems serves the human needs by protecting Maqasid al-Sharia, by being aligned with the Islamic principles or not. And this will help us to operationalize, as we mentioned, to actually apply what we've talked about. And finally, we need a governance layer. So the governance mechanism will tell us how we can apply the governance framework. So this will be through shura, for example, consultation, to ensure that we include all the stakeholders and their different perspectives into the development. And this will involve meaningful community participation. And we also should have accountability structures, starting from the very spiritual accountability all the way to the different levels of accountability and rules, regulations, and just having the rules in place so that we know that even if one layer is off, we can rely on other layers. And finally, we should have the cultural adaptability. And this will allow for the framework, our Islamic ethical framework, it will allow for it to work in different contexts while maintaining its core elements or core integrity. Now, this framework is not meant to contradict the ones that we already seen, but it will enrich the framework so we can actually adopt or align with other frameworks as we see fit, but it is also important to enrich them and align them with our Islamic principles and our Islamic framework. Okay, so with this, I conclude today's session. And just briefly to conclude what we've discussed, we've talked about how governance can create a competitive advantage by avoiding the challenges or the consequences of poor implementation, and also enhancing the profitability, reputation, and also the market share then we've seen different principles, and we concluded with a general framework, an Islamic framework, where we can apply our own for your attention, and I think we can have some questions now.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Alhamdulillah, we have
We still have
maybe in
time,
the
right?
chat box, yeah, we run out of time. But you can answer one or two questions from the chat box, Doctor.
Okay, I will check them now. So we have a question: in a closed program or office usage, is it certain that the AI usage can be prevented from attempting introducing new information outside what it was trained with, so as to reduce its error instances? Some models, if the model is built by a certain developer that does not allow the use of new information, I believe, yes, we can prevent it from using. And we've seen example of this, it's already being developed. So we have Notebook LM. It will only answer based on the resources you upload. So it's not going to generate any new information. It's just going to synthesize, maybe summarize, or just answer based on the information you upload. So it will not hallucinate as much if you are just using, for example, ChatGPT or Claude or any. Start. Oh, okay. Let me start at the end. Could you provide further books references? Okay, I will try to list all my sources. Usually I just place them in the same slide where I got the information, but maybe I can add more references list. Okay. Okay, I think that's all the questions we have. The last one.
Thank you
It's
very
not
much.
the last one. Yeah, just one more question. Today's session is not the last one. Next week we will have the last session by me. But the one after is going to be expert who is going to discuss the uses of analytics and AI in business from an Islamic perspective as well.
Yeah, we have two more class, 17 and 18, inshallah.
Yes.
Okay.
Ciao.
So thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, inshallah. We will see you in next week for the last session from your side, right, Doctor? Thank you very much.
Yes.
Inshallah. Hope to see you next week.
Inshallah.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So now we have about 10 minutes to rest. We will come back at 11, inshallah. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum, Dokter. Dr. Suharni. Dokter.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
How are you, Dokter?
Fine, alhamdulillah. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you test the screen, Dokter?
Okay, wait. Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yes, Dokter. But if you can make it full screen.
Wait. I can't see this one. It should be not yet the what do you call it? Oh, sorry. Is my screen? Sorry. I have to stop sharing first. Wait. Wait, I accidentally closed the file just now. So I have to find back the file. Okay, it's take a little bit of time. I don't know why my laptop is quite lagging at the moment. Macam jam sikit je.
Ya, Dokter.
Sekejap. Saya tak tahu kenapa my ni very slow. Okay. To share back. Okay, then I cannot see the. Oh, okay. This one. Okay, can you see the slide now?
Yes, Dokter. Already full screen. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. All right. Okay. May I start now or how?
Yeah, Dokter. So to all participants, now we start our second session from Associate Professor Dr. Suharni Maulan. regarding the topic fundamental of marketing from an Islamic perspective, promotion practice in Islam. Without further ado, Dr. Falyatafaddal Majura, you have 45 minutes, Doctor, for present and leave 5 minutes for Q&A.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. To all the respected audience. Okay. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Okay, inshallah today I'm going to I think this is my first time or first appearance for this program, okay, in which previously for this session for marketing, particularly my colleague, Prof Hasano and Professor Tahidan have basically share on the modules, okay, the first to the fifth module, okay, basically for those who have attended the session, we can recall, okay, that in the first part, module 1 for marketing, okay, we have, or Prof Hassanul have briefed on the overview, okay, between Islamic and also conventional marketing, and then the marketing concepts, the core concept in marketing, and also the philosophy in marketing. And then Dr. Tahir, have briefed on or have shared on Muslim consumer behavior, segmentation, targeting, and I think last week he has explained on product in Islam. Yeah. So today, inshallah, I'm going to continue on the promotion practice, and actually for the next 2 weeks as well, I'm going to continue, okay, with the marketing session in which I'm going to brief on the other 2 pieces, okay, which is pricing and also distribution. All right. Okay, so for today's session, okay, for promotion, okay, this is basically what we hope to understand. I mean, like, at least after the session, it is hoped that we can understand the differences between the promotion in the conventional practices and also in the Islamic, and look at some of the guidance in the Quran and Hadith, and identify what are the don'ts or what are probably the prohibited promotional practices, because when you talk about promotion nowadays, there's a lot of creativity and innovation, in which maybe some are not aligned with the Quran and Sunnah. Okay, so you hopefully can help us to see how the guidelines is from the Islamic point of view. Okay, so as the introduction, okay, we are going to look into what promotion is all about first. So as I mentioned just now, that in marketing, okay, for those who have some background in marketing, basically you may have heard what we call as 4 P's of marketing mix, or sometimes we call it as marketing elements. In which the first P, okay, that what has been explained in the previous session by Dr. Tahir, is about the first P, which is product. So we have actually the other 3 P's, in which one of the P that we are going to look into today is promotion. So when we talk about the promotion, all right, normally if I ask my student about what they understand or what they know about marketing, a lot of people basically equate marketing with promotion. Marketing is about promotion, marketing is about advertisement. But actually when we look into let's say the 4 P's here, okay, promotion is only one of the element in marketing activities. And actually marketing activities have even started before the product. For example, like when we do the marketing intelligence, okay, when we do the market research, when we try to identify the market segment, it's already a marketing activities. But why promotion is the one that is very near to people, because this is what, as the consumer, as the end consumer, we can see. We can see the advertisement, okay, we can see the discount, for example, okay, the free gift, we can read the brochures. So this is something that can be seen by the consumer. That's why there is a general misunderstanding that marketing is all about promotion. But without the product, for example, of course, there is nothing that we can promote in the first place. So that's why we start with the product first. Okay, so what is promotion? Basically, what is the role of promotion is basically to communicate. Yeah, so communication, okay, if I can show you the model here, right, it will involve sender and also receiver. Yeah, in this case, the sender, if we talk about the business setting, okay, the sender can be the company, yeah, and the receiver is the target audience or the target market. Yeah, and basically, what we want to communicate is the message, okay, and the message can be in terms of many form, okay, because if we learn about communication also, we can have what we call as verbal communication, we can have a non-verbal communication, yeah, so it can be in terms, for example, like communicate ideas, yeah, communicate even emotion, yeah, communicate information, yeah, and many forms. Yeah, it can be in terms of wording or text. It can be in terms of nowadays video, right? In terms of pictures, in terms of music, yeah, nowadays gestures, yeah. So this is basically the message in which this is where when we talk about promotion, we must have of course element of active creativity, yeah, because in the process of communication, there can be many noises. Noises here is not necessarily the noise, the sound, yeah, but it can be, for example, like when you look at the social media, yeah, because now I think social media is one of the very emerging, not really emerging, but have been used widespreadly, okay, compared to television also is reducing, yeah. There's a lot of information or advertisement, for example, okay, that we can see, and the noises can be promotion from other competitors, for example. Okay, so what make us stand out so that the messages now can be or can reach the audience that we intend to send the message to. Yeah, and of course later we will touch a little bit on the medium. Yeah, medium is what are the platform that we use, yeah, to communicate the message. Okay, for example, like previously we have the television, we have radio, right? We have brochures, yeah. But now, of course, a lot of businesses have capitalized on the digital platform, yeah. For example, like the social media, like TikTok, YouTube, and so on, yeah. So whatever we see, yeah, the thing that we see, okay, the word, the information that we get is where the sender or the company just now try to encode, and we as the receiver will try to understand, yeah, what is the message, and then from there, the response and the feedback, yeah, should be sent to the sender. Okay, so in terms of business, of course, the response that you want is in terms of the sales. Yeah, so that's why in communication also we have this what we call as IDA model, one of the very popular model in promotion, in which when we do the promotion, when we communicate to the audience or the target market, what we try to to do is basically first it's to make people aware, okay, to make the customer aware, okay, and create the interest, desire. Then only they will take the action, yeah, in which they will be converted into buyer, right? And this is where the company will generate the sales, yeah. So that's why when we talk about the importance of promotion, in marketing, okay, it is to communicate, and that communication just now is to create awareness, okay, like what you see in the IDA model just now. Awareness is basically the first step, basically, because if you have the product or services but people are not aware, okay, in the first place they won't actually be able to choose your product, okay, because people don't know about your existence, yeah. So awareness basically is the first step, but of course awareness does not necessarily lead to action, yeah, because a lot of times, okay, we know about the product but we do not buy it, okay. One, probably because we don't, we are not the target market, yeah. Another one, maybe we don't see that product is relevant or we really need the product in the first place, yeah. So that's why, the promotion need also to persuade, the target market to purchase, yeah. In which to persuade, especially when the product have lots of competitors in the market, so that you have to basically tell, okay, or inform or persuade in the sense that how your product is different, yeah, from the rest of the product in the market. What are the main reason why you should buy from us, for example, yeah. So this is basically a little bit intense, yeah, than just to create awareness. Okay, and also you can see that a lot of brand, okay, which are already established in the market, a well-known brand, yeah, a big brand, a global brand, yeah, you can see that okay, a lot of big brand are boycott brand, right? Okay, but it's okay. just to mention, right, like Coca-Cola, for example, you can still see, you know, the promotion, yeah, even though they have been well known, yeah, because communication also or promotion also is to remind people, okay, that we are still here, we are still exist and so on, yeah. And from this promotion also basically, you know, we try to build the trust, yeah, because without the trust, basically, the transaction will not happen, yeah. Because if we look into today's environment, yeah, for example, sometimes we tend to not we tend, okay, we purchase product from seller that we even don't know, because previously means maybe like 10 years back, yeah, before we have this digital platform, we have a face-to-face communication, right? We we probably watch the advertisement in the television, but when we want to purchase, we have to go to the shop, right? And meet the seller, see the product, and so on, yeah, physically, yeah. But now we can just buy online, in which sometimes or most of the time actually we don't even, you know the seller, yeah. But because we trust, yeah, from the communication that they make, we read the review, okay, we evaluate the information that they give, okay. So because of the trust, then we purchase, yeah, from the seller, okay. So this promotion, okay, will somehow, okay, influence our perceptions, yeah. Perception is very subjective actually. For example, something that can be interesting to me may not be interesting to you, yeah, because this is a subjective evaluation. Will ultimately will what do you call it, influence our buying decisions, yeah. Because if you can recall, okay, the consumer behavior last time, okay, the buying decisions, when a consumer want to purchase, before you came to the stage of buying, actually the first thing is, of course, we have the need lah, okay. When we have the needs, we will find information, yeah. So this is where the promotion play the role. We will start Google, right? Okay, we want to purchase, let's say, a new laptop, yeah. So we start to do some information seeking, okay. We go from this website to that website, okay. We read some reviews, okay, from other consumers, okay. And from there we will make you know, evaluations, okay. And of course we have few alternative, yeah, brand A, brand B, brand C, D, and so on, yeah. And each of the alternative we will evaluate, okay. And finally we will come to that buying decision, yeah. So this is basically why promotion is very important. As I mentioned just now, if you don't get enough information, okay, you don't get information that actually the consumer needs, and then you may not be able to influence their buying decision, and ended up the consumer may buy, you know, from the competitors, yeah. And also promotion, especially nowadays, okay, you can see that it also what do you call it, influence the social trend, yeah. You can see lots of trends, especially among the young people, okay, in which it also somehow affect the lifestyle, okay. You can see, for example, like ASMR or something like that, yeah, where the advertisement is, you know, like just showing the pictures without any wording, yeah. And this become the trends that, you know, being followed, yeah, by other marketers as well, yeah. So in Islam, basically, when we talk about promotion, okay, of course, there is, you know, no wrong about the promotion itself, about the communication, okay. But of course, we have the guidelines in which the promotion should be the truth one, okay, and we have the ethics to follow, okay. And of course, whatever we communicate, we know that we have the responsibility and we are accountable, okay, with whatever message that we what do you call it, put, yeah, in our promotion, right? Okay, so next, we look a little bit on what are the promotional tools, yeah. If we learn about promotion, this is what we call as promotional mix, yeah. So we have these 5 basic tools, okay, in which if we want to do promotion, the tools need to be what do you call it, used together, yeah. This is what we call as IMC, or integrated marketing communication, yeah. We have to use together all the tools, yeah, okay. And the tools now can be offline and online, and integrated in the sense that it must be coherent, yeah, with the image of the company, with the vision and mission of the company, and so on. All right, just to briefly explain what the tools is, yeah. The one which is very common to us, very well known, okay, as I mentioned just now, when we say marketing, normally people will think about advertisement. Yeah, so advertising is actually one of the promotion tools. Yeah, in which advertising is the one that you can see on the television. Yeah, you can listen in the radio. Last time we advertised in the magazine. Yeah, what else? Okay, the brochures, right? Whatever platform, okay, that actually when we talk about advertisement, you know who is the sender just now, okay? You know what company actually advertise, yeah, the product or the services. And normally advertising is paid, yeah. And even if you look into the digital platform now, okay, you may have heard about, for example, people talk about YouTube ads, yeah, FB ads, IG ads, yeah. So all those basically refer to advertisement where if you want to advertise, basically you have to pay for the slot. Yeah. For example, like if you want to advertise in the television, right? Television nowadays also have a lot of channel, right? I think at least in Malaysia, um, I don't know how many channels in total basically. If compared to previous, maybe the channels are limited. So not only you have to choose what channel are most appropriate for your target audience, but also you must know what are the timing. Yeah? For example, let's say that you choose the prime time. Yeah? When is the prime time? In general, maybe during, people, if we talk about radio, for example, okay, during people go back from the offices, you are stuck in the jam, yeah. So maybe after 5 to 7 can be the prime time. So normally that slot will, the payment that you have to pay for that slot for advertisement can be more expensive, okay, than the other slot which may not have many audience, yeah. Okay, we have also outdoor medium, yeah, like banner or maybe billboards, yeah. So these are the things in which we classify it as advertisement. Yeah. So advertisement is very effective to create promotion. Yeah. But advertising normally is a one-way type of communication in which you show but you cannot interact. Yeah. So it's good for you to inform. Yeah. Because if you look into the IDA model just now, you can see that in terms of awareness, okay, it is a a pyramid which is in the opposite, right? You can see the awareness, you can make a lot of people aware, okay? But at the end of the day, when it goes to the action, when it goes to buying, then the people will be lesser and lesser, right? So here, when we talk about advertising just now, is very good in creating, awareness and make people aware. Yeah, but it's not really effective in making people immediately take action. Okay, for example, like we saw the advertisement, okay, we know, but we don't basically immediately want to purchase the product. Okay, we will just notice about the product. Okay. And the second tools is what we classify as sales promotion. Yeah, sales promotion is a short-term incentive basically, in which this is where you want to increase the effectiveness of advertising. Yeah. What are the example of sales promotion? Is like buy one free one. Can, yeah? For example, you see the advertisement, you said, okay, buy one free one. You have to buy before 31st December. So they will give you some timeline so that you will take the action now, okay, rather than later. Yeah. So we have lots of sales promotion activities in which many sellers actually make use of this. For example, apart from buy one free one or freemium like free gift, yeah, in services maybe they give you the early birds discounts, yeah, and then contests, contests. Okay, maybe some of you like to join contests. Yeah, you have to purchase, but then you want to have the opportunity to get the prizes, for example. Yeah. So a lot of other tools actually for sales promotion that actually, as I mentioned, want to increase, yeah, and want to attract the buyers into buying now rather than later. Yeah. And actually the sales promotion is not only for the end consumer, but also for B2B, yeah, business to business. For example, like you are the manufacturer, you want the retailer, okay, to carry the product for you, then you can also give some kind of discount, okay, lot of type of discount actually that I don't think I'm going to explain it here, but just to say that sales promotion also is applicable not only for the end consumer like us, but also for business customers. And the third tool, okay, is what we'll call as public relation. Okay, so public relations basically is a bit different. Okay, the role of public relations is basically to build image. It's more on the image building. It's more on what do you call it? Have a good relationship. Want to build relationship with stakeholders. Yeah, and the stakeholders not necessarily the consumers. Yeah, the customers. No. Yeah. But it can be even the government, for example, okay, the NGOs, yeah, the suppliers, yeah, so various parties, yeah, that have or can have effect to the businesses, yeah. So public relation can be a powerful tool, okay, in promotion, because public relation, one of the important thing is to give publicity, yeah. And the publicity actually can come from the third party as compared to advertising or sales promotion. What do I mean by third party is that, for example, under public relation, it's like you do the CSR activities, you give scholarship or you give sponsorship, right? So someone pick up, I mean, like, for example, let's say the event are being featured, yeah, in the newspaper, in the news, yeah. So the journalists are the one who write about the event. Okay, so this is what we meant by the third party publicity, which can be a powerful tool, okay, for promotion, because the behavior of the consumer is that when the communication come from the company, sometimes we have a bit like, because of course you say good things about your company, right? Okay, but when it comes from the third party, it become more trusted. Yeah. So under the public relation, as I mentioned just now, including like sponsorship, all those things. Yeah. So this is more on the image building. And then we have also personal selling. Okay, personal selling is very effective, yeah, in terms of getting the action just now. Yeah. Previously, personal selling is basically a face-to-face communication. Yeah. And it is very effective in terms of getting action. Yeah. From if compared from advertising, because face-to-face communication is still the most powerful form of communication. Because you can interact. It's a two-way form of communication. Yeah? You can inform, you can persuade at the same time. Yeah? You can try to close the sale, for example. Okay? You can actually try to customize the communication. Yeah. So that's why you can see now, okay, with the digital marketing, yeah, the third tools, because it's too big now. Yeah. So we have adding actually because if you read the previous in the last maybe 10 years, digital marketing is not in the picture. Yeah, it's just 4. But now we have 5 digital marketing because it's so powerful now. So if you look into personal selling, if we use the digital platform like TikTok, Shopee Live kan, TikTok Live, all those basically have the element of personal selling, because you can communicate, you can interact with the seller. Okay, the seller can customize your questions and so on. Yeah. But previously, of course, personal selling is where you have to meet the customer face to face. And of course, it's a bit costly because you have to travel. Okay. And at one point, you can meet only 1 or 2 customers or a group of customers. Okay. But with the digital platform nowadays, one live, okay, maybe thousands customers can attend, yeah? Especially when we talk about celebrity. Sometimes at one session too, it can be like thousands or millions of people. Yeah. So personal selling is something that famous, for example, for product in which it is a bit complicated. For example, like insurance product. Okay, normally we use agent, yeah, because we have to explain more about the product. Okay, maybe it is quite limited if you use advertising. And if you go to the what do you call it, to the shop, yeah, you meet the salespeople, that is also considered as personal selling. Yeah, because personal selling is not only that salesperson go to you, but also if you go to the shop, you talk to the salespeople, it is also considered as personal selling. You talk to the counter people, yeah, the employee at the counter, that is also personal selling. Yeah, and then the third or the last one is the digital marketing, in which, of course, digital marketing is the trend now, okay, because it is cheaper, yeah, relatively than advertising. That's why you can see the small businesses can, capitalize on digital marketing for the businesses, because previously if you want to advertise in the television, in the radio, it is very expensive. But now if you use the social media, for example, okay, you have the Facebook, you have the IG, okay, you can promote using all those digital platform. So these are basically the promotional tools that is being used, okay, by the marketer. Okay, so we look into the next one, okay, which is, we look at the tools, okay, and we look into how conventional practices are different from the Islamic after this. Okay, so you can see that in conventional promotion practices, of course, normally in conventional, we always emphasize on profits, focus maybe on profit. I'm not saying that in Islam we cannot make profit. We can, because profit is important for sustainability or survivability of the businesses, for the expansion of the business and so on. Okay, but of course we have to do it in line or within the boundaries of the Sharia. And then you try to persuade people so that again, as long as people buy. Maybe you have heard this, people said, oh, bad marketing is also marketing, right? So even though the marketing is bad, what bad here is you can do anything for the promotion, even though it's not good, it have probably this thing and these prohibited things, as long as people buy. So this is something which is not allowed in Islam. Even though people say it is still a marketing. Marketing means here you can still attract people to know and what and so on. But in Islam we have certain guidelines, of course. So what are the common issues that potentially arise for conventional practices? If you focus only on persuasion and profit, and then you can exaggerate things. For example, you claim okay, your brand is the best in the world, okay, but is the claim is true or not? So you exaggerate what you actually can deliver. Or maybe you may have, for example, like the elements of manipulation. You create artificial needs. Okay, you create a false need. Because maybe the product is not important or have no value. For example, like we are the newest model of telephone. Because we know that in technology the model is very fast changing. So maybe our phone, let's say mobile phone, is still okay to be used, but because of that persuasion, okay, you feel that I have to change this phone, for example. But of course it also takes on the side of consumer, okay, as I think Dr. Mariam have talked about Israf just now, right? In which we as the individual also have to know what actually is our need to avoid us from go into this Israf, right? Or overspending. Okay, and then issues like emphasizing on the materialism, for example, like promoting luxury lifestyle. Okay, that's why you can see that now we have lots of influencers, especially for the young generation. You look at the lifestyle of these influencers, traveling, all around the world, or maybe using branded products, a very lavish home, for example, so this is basically where sometimes it create as I mentioned just now, artificial need. You create something that actually, as a human, we have to understand that we are his servant. Okay, we have other important things in our life. But emphasizing on the materialism can lead to something which maybe lead later to the extravagance, something that actually we don't need in this life. And then in the sensi, you can see that lots of promotion, they don't care lah if they use the sex appeal. If you can see advertisement on the perfume, let's say, you can see that how the model looks, or act. So this is something, of course, is again the Islamic guideline, or unethical imagery. You use a fear appeal, for example. So this is something which are commonly practices actually Yeah, if the what do you call it, regulation allow, then as long as it makes profit, you can do it. Yeah. But in Islam, basically, we have the guidelines, right? And of course, promotion can be used, yeah, for to promote your product or services. Okay, but of course, what we have learned in the previous session, the product must be halal lah in the first place. Yeah. If the product is haram, of course, there's no such thing of promoting that haram product. Yeah, so you can use it as a tool, okay, for your trade, for your businesses, and actually promotion also can be a tools of dakwah actually. Yeah, because when you show, for example, like, let's say that when you talk about personal selling, you show a good example, a good customer services, yeah, and people see, oh, this company is very good, yeah, and this is a Muslim company, for example, okay, people attracted, yeah, then it can be a form of, showing, okay, the good of Islam to especially the non-Muslim, yeah. I still remember, for example, during the Qatar, yeah, the World Cup in 2022, right? 2022 ke? Yeah, the World Cup, yeah, that is being hosted by Qatar, yeah, in which they promote. It is a World Cup, yeah. It is a football event, okay. But then, how they start the event with Quranic recitation, for example, okay, instead of singing all those things, yeah. And then they prepare a place for solah, yeah, in which the non-Muslim can see, oh, what they are doing and see on how we pray, yeah. So these are all actually can be creatively, yeah, design, yeah, so that it can be a method of dakwah as well. Yeah, so promotion is acceptable, okay, but of course it must be truthful, yeah, beneficial, yeah, and halal means it's free from harm, yeah, and also again, as I mentioned just now, it is about halal product, yeah, you cannot promote, yeah, haram product or services. Okay, so in a way, Islam does not reject promotion, but it sets the boundaries. Yeah, it sets guidelines. Okay, as long as it is guided by the Sharia. Yeah, and when we talk about promotion, it's not only for the business purposes. Yeah, not only for commercial organization, but marketing as a whole, even, yeah, can be practiced, yeah, by a non-business organization. Yeah, for example, let's say that you are now in this IIIT program certification. How do you know about this program? It's through promotion, right? Okay, because without this promotion, of course, you don't know, okay, that this event actually exists, right? Okay, and we can see that the NGOs, for example, okay, the mosque, yeah, the nation or the country, yeah, also actually use promotion. Yeah, for example, like our country Malaysia promote, visit Malaysia year, for example. Yeah, so it is actually important, and Islam don't have any problem with that. Okay, it's just that it must be within the guidance of the Sharia. Yeah. So with that, let us see what are some of the Islamic, the Quranic verses, okay, that can be our guidance. Yeah, for example, like in Surah Baqarah, okay, speak to people with good words. Yeah, and if you look into, I think 3 is Surah Al-Imran, okay, and let there be from you a nation inviting to good and joining what is right and forbidding what is wrong. Okay, so this is basically the ayah on Amar Ma'ruf Nahi Munkar, right? Okay, in which, as I said, promotion can be form of dakwah in which we can invite people, okay, to do goods, okay, and just imagine if we are able, okay, to invite people to do good, and the reward also, inshallah, okay, we will obtain. Yeah. Measure, okay, the way injustice, yeah. Do not commit abuse on the earth, do not spread corruption, okay, give full measure what you measure. And you can see that some of these guidance in the Quran is also being used later when I talk about the pricing, for example. Yeah, for example, in terms of a full measure, when you measure weight with an even balance. So meaning that what we understood from the ayah is that we have to be honest. It should be truthful. Yeah, the communication or the information that you give should be correct. Yeah, should be because when we talk about promotion or communication, basically that is our promise, okay? Promise to deliver something, yeah? So that's why if you show the picture is like that, then the good that you receive should be like the one that you show in the picture, for example, yeah? So it must be something which is what you have communicate, yeah, to the audience. Okay, because sometimes you see the pictures of the food, let's say, look very delicious, but when it arrives to you, it is not something which is even close to the picture that you see, right? So this or even let's say that you go for a hotel, okay, you show the pictures, right? The pictures is very good, the bed looks very nice, whatever, okay. But then when you arrive to the place, it's not like what is being communicated, yeah, through the advertisement, yeah. So these are the thing in which we can get from the ayah, in which it should be there shouldn't be any elements of what do you call it, deception, yeah. Right, so here is some of the guidance, meaning that I may not put the hadith as it is, yeah, but there's one hadith here: whoever cheat us is not one of us, okay, meaning that again we emphasize on honesty, yeah, talking the truthful, right? And the emphasis is always on the honesty, on the transparency, yeah. For example, let's say that if the product have a defect, you have to tell, okay, you have to inform, yeah. You should not conceal the flaw, right? And we have the last box there, permission before personal promotion, yeah. So this is actually, there is a book on what we call as permission marketing, yeah. But of course, the one who write is not a Muslim, okay. But actually, the practice is something that actually the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam have actually shown us, yeah. For example, there's a lot of hadith actually talking about getting permission or asking for permission, but it's not really in the context of businesses. It's more on the context of entering an event. Yeah, for example, there is I don't have it here, but if you Google, you can find, yeah, asking permission. For example, at one event, Sayyidina Umar radhiyallahu anhu want to enter into that, where Rasulullah is sitting, yeah, with the companions, and he asked permission whether he can enter or not. Yeah, and he said Omar is here. He identified himself and he asked for permission to enter. Yeah. So what is the insight or the one that we can extract from these practices is that sometimes, okay, in promotion, okay, we tend to cold calling, for example. Okay, you get the numbers and you just call, okay, and try to sell, okay, without what do you call it? Sometimes this is also a privacy issue when you don't know where they get your numbers, right? Okay, and also you blast, the emails, okay, all those things, yeah. So that is basically where people sometimes have a bad perception, yeah, on marketing, yeah. Marketing is about exploitation. Marketing is about manipulation, yeah, because you don't actually follow the ethics, yeah. So if you look into permission marketing, yeah, we have actually, there is a book on that, yeah. Let's say that you go to some like blogs, yeah, they will ask at the end of the writing too, they will ask, okay, do you want to follow us? Okay, please subscribe. Okay, and you can subscribe and unsubscribe anytime. So that one is actually permission marketing, and this is actually the Prophet guidance, in which before you do the personal promotion, actually you have to ask for permission. Okay, personal promotion meaning that when you go to that particular person, you call that person. Okay, for advertising it's okay because it is a public, advertisement. Yeah, but then when involve like calling your number, okay, or email, your personal email, okay, so you have to get actually permission. Okay, ethically you have to get the permission, right? Okay, so this is basically the adab as well. Okay, so what is the key principle? And some of these key principles actually I have mentioned. Yeah, for example, like the truthfulness. Yeah, siddiq. Yeah, we cannot exaggerate, okay, or give the false claim. Yeah, so that's why we have to really know, okay, what we can deliver. For example, if you promise, okay, we can finish these services, for example, within 24 hours. Yeah? So that you have to make sure that it is within the 24 hours that you have promised. Yeah, or else it might be regarded as a fast claim, yeah, or you exaggerate just to attract people, okay, to patronize your services, but actually you cannot deliver it, yeah. And then it shouldn't have no gharar, yeah. It should be transparent, yeah. You must give a clear information, yeah, on the product, okay, on the price, yeah, on the terms, so that people can make correct decisions, yeah. There is no hidden fee, for example, yeah. You put, the price like how much, yeah. But then actually is only for certain product, yeah. So you have to be transparent, yeah, no gharar, yeah. And later when we learn about pricing even, yeah, there is one this is of even related to pricing, but also related to promotion. Yeah, the trend I see, they call it as a mystery box, right? So that one is basically you don't have clear information on the product, because you don't know what you are going to receive. It's just like to create excitement, okay? But the for the promotion you want to create excitement, okay? But the product that you may receive is a mystery. That's why they call it as a mystery box. So maybe the product is not worth the price that you pay, yeah. So it will lead to the violate the principle of just adil, yeah. So you mislead, okay. This is where can potentially lead to exploitation of the consumer and so on. Okay, and then the principle of respect and modesty, haya. Yeah, we know that haya is part of our iman, right? So the challenge is now, okay, you can see a lot of content, yeah, in which just to create the hypes, okay, create the attract the consumers, yeah, where sometimes you do something which disrespectful, yeah, to the customers, maybe through the words that you are using, okay, maybe through the what do you call it, content, okay, that you are creating. As I mentioned just now, as long as it is marketable, okay, the bad marketing also is marketing, yeah, which is actually very wrong, yeah. And then the content, yeah, apart from the modesty just now, okay, of course, the image, yeah, should be, no haram image. I know that in the Middle East, even actually you can portray the woman, right, in your advertisement. Okay, I noticed that for the Starbucks logo, okay, you change the logo, yeah, so that it does not show even though it is just icon, not really the real person, yeah. So that is by regulation of the country, yeah. But in so far, in Malaysia, you still can portray, woman in the advertisement and so on, yeah. And then the messages, yeah, something that you have to use a good words, yeah. Sometimes the music, whatever lah content that you put in can be not modest, or not really consistent, yeah, with the Sharia, yeah. And again, Islam always talk about the maslahah, yeah, the social responsibility. We have to think about the impact to the society, yeah. So that's why in the second, I think, module, okay, Prof Hassanul should have explained about the marketing philosophy, in which there are 5, yeah, main marketing philosophy. If I can repeat again, one is the product orientation, okay, where basically product is, we focus only on the quality, yeah. And then we believe that if the product is of quality, people will buy, yeah. But then we shift into production philosophy, yeah, in which we talk about mass production, and this is where we can reduce the price. Okay, so as long as the product is cheap, then people will buy, yeah. But then happen that it's not necessary that people will buy if the product is cheap. They go for selling philosophy. Selling philosophy is basically you have the understanding that if the product you aggressively promote, people will buy. So that's why you have a very aggressive promotion. But apparently still, okay, it is not always true, because even though you promote a lot, okay, not necessarily people will buy if the product is not needed, right? So this is where they go into the marketing philosophy, in which they try to identify the need, yeah. If you need the product, then you will buy, okay. But again, it's not adequate. Then the last one, okay, there's a lot actually more, but this is the main one, okay. We call it a societal marketing philosophy, in which apart from fulfilling the needs of the customer, we have to look at the social impact. What will be the impact to the society? Yeah. But actually, if we look into what Islam have teaches us, it is there already 1,400 years ago. Yeah, meaning that it is not changed. It has not changed. Yeah, we know from the beginning that the public responsibility, the society should be things that we have to consider. We have to look in things into the picture as a whole. Yeah, kulli, meaning that we cannot look into okay, what is profit to us only. Yeah, we have to look what will be the implications to the society. Okay, will it bring benefits or will it bring more harms? Yeah. Then only they come with SDG, all this thing, right? 17 SDGs, and we are very wonderful. Okay, but actually whatever is in the SDG is there. Yeah. For example, like the poor, protection of the poor is in Islam already. And that's why we have the institution of zakat, we have the concept of sadaqah. Yeah. So actually we have it in our religion. It's just that I don't know, maybe sometimes we feel that the West is more advanced, okay? But actually in Islam, basically it is there already in Quran, and Rasulullah have already taught us about all these things. Yeah, inshallah. All right. Okay, so what are the prohibited things? Yeah. Yeah. Already.
We
Oh,
have
time
passed the
already.
time, Doctor.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so I
Passed the
think the
time
rest
about the
actually have been mentioned. Have been mentioned about the prohibited practices. Okay. Okay. I think I have mentioned about all these haram or prohibited elements. Okay, so this one is basically I have also mentioned. Yeah. Okay, for example, I just want probably to highlight on the social media nowadays about the clickbait, the fake influencers. Yeah, but of course it goes back to the truthfulness just now. And this is things that we can, practices. For example, like content should be educational, should bring values. Yeah, I just want to inform that yesterday, okay, we give award to a Malaysian influencer, very famous Malaysian influencer named Khairul Amin. Yeah, so he was given the award for Ma'al Hijrah Award, okay, for setting a good example for entrepreneurs in Malaysia. But just to tell that his video are all education and bring value to the society. So meaning that you can still succeed without using controversial promotion, right? And even he was recognized by the government so that he was given that award. Yeah. All right. So this is the thing that we have to observe lah, yeah, for promotion. We can use as long as we have no prohibited elements just now. Okay. So this one is the challenges nowadays. But of course, the challenge is to stay competitive while being ethical. Okay, but that's why we have to make ourselves being guided, yeah, always by the Quran and Sunnah. Whatever being done by the majority is not necessarily something that we should follow, because if it is against the Sharia, it's against the Sharia. That's it. Yeah. All right. So as the conclusion, promotion is allowed, encouraged, as long it is ethical and follow the Quran and Sunnah. Okay. And of course, we want the barakah, not only the profit or loyalty, but we want the barakah in our business. And promotion can also become the ibadah if it is done ethically, and also it can be an effective tool for da'wah, inshallah. All right, so I think that's all. Sorry for taking Prof. Suhaimi time.
Yeah, thank you very much,
Doctor. To the moderator. Right. I don't know why.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for your insightful and meaningful, and hopefully all the participants can grab all the benefit that was sharing by doctors. May Allah bless you, Doctor.
Inshallah. Thank you. And I'm okay. Thank you for listening. Okay, inshallah, meet again next week. Assalamualaikum.
Inshallah. Hope to see you next week, inshallah. Dr. Suhaimi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Do you want me to share now?
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi. Yes, Doctor. Yes. Sorry, Doctor, for take your time. You can add in the end of your class. Yeah, Alhamdulillah, already full screen here. Inshallah, Prof. Dr. Suhaimi will sharing with us the case study of CSR and responsible consumerism in Islamic business. Without further ado, Doctor, falyatafaddal ma'jurah, Doctor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Sister Moderator. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallim. Alhamdulillah, first and foremost, I would like to thank to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for giving me the opportunity to continue my sharing with all brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. Alhamdulillah, for this session, I'm going to put into a very important aspect in learning and education, which is to put whatever we have observed, we have studied into documents. So the document known as case studies. Okay, in the study of management, we use case studies to reinforce our learning. Okay, our learning, and also sometimes to advance our learning. So this is the case study on the corporate social responsibility and responsible consumerism in Islamic businesses, based on what I have presented from the first topic until last topic. Okay, and then of course, this is not my last topic. I'm going to have another topic after this. So at the end, okay, of this session, inshallah, brothers and sisters will be able to analyze how Islamic principle can guide the corporate social responsibility with the understanding of Tawheed, Ihsan, Amanah, and Maqam Sharia in shaping the corporate social responsibility initiative within the Islamic businesses. And number two, brothers and sisters will be able to examine real-world case studies of Islamic businesses practicing the responsible consumerism in respective locations and also places. And number three, to develop the Sharia compliance strategies for the CSR and also consumer engagement. And for your information, brothers and sisters, at IIUM, okay, particularly at the School of Economics and Management Sciences, we have a dedicated journal called by the IIUM Journal of Case Studies and Management. Okay, I am the chief editor for this journal, okay, for already 2 years. So brothers and sisters can visit the journal, and we have our latest publication we published in August. So we obtained the cases related to the Tawhidic epistemology and the Ummatic excellence in various topics. Okay, we have management, marketing, international business, industrial relations, personal management, and so forth. Okay, this is just to see how the learning, okay, from the lecturers, the students, MBA students, they translate, okay, whatever they have obtained from their fieldwork into scholarly work. All right, so what is actually, brothers and sisters, a case study? Okay? Basically, a case means a story. Okay, because we use case in the legal context, in the legal context, in the court. Okay, or the court, what I call the historical records from the hearing in the court of justice will be recorded, okay, from the beginning until the end. And then including also the verdict, will have a written verdict, and will be published in the report called a case. Okay, in the legal, this is known as a case law. Okay, because when judges, when they make a verdict, they will refer beside the acts, enactments, ordinances. They will also refer to the case law. But however, we in the business, we are not using this as a case law, but rather we use this to reinforce our understanding. Okay, basically, it is a real world with the in-depth examination on how specific business organization plans, implement, evaluates, that is respected to the triple bottom line, to the economic, society, environment, and also the philanthropy, as well as ethical responsibility, which is just beyond the profitability, okay, because they are very concerned. So in other words, when you wanted to write a case study, it should be a real example, and that people can see by themselves. They can see in the environments. Okay, it can be specific business. It can be a halal food company. Okay, what we call a poultry business, slaughtering chicken. It can be a Islamic bank, Islamic cooperatives. Okay, even masjid, masjid NGOs that involved in the CSR initiative. Okay, number two, the focus of the case or the story can have impact. In other words, people can learn something from that particular story. Okay, such as about in the context of CSR, how to reduce the poverty. Okay, how to improve the education. Okay, and how also to improve the sustainability. Okay, we see, for example, like just now when the first speaker, Dr. Siti Mariam, talked about the lean management, 5S. We see a lot of Japanese companies, they practice the leans, the kaizen, the ikigai in their company. And there are people who recorded this as a case study and published in various case studies journal. Not just one party. There are many case study journal that focusing on that. It can be in the TQM journal, talk about that. All right, and then number three, because our topic is about CSR with Islamic perspective, we link that particular story with the Islamic principle, such as we link the Tawheed, how the Tawhidic epistemology, the understanding of human as servants and version of Allah, impact the persons into the work. Okay, theoretically, people might be having difficult how the La ilaha illallah spirit can be put into action. Okay, so this is something that we cannot apply. But when you have someone who practice, then we can put into, there's some people are doing that for many years and consistently. For example, we have a small business that's selling just a very simple food, a very simple breakfast, but the owner never stop. Okay, never stop, reciting zikr, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, and always subhanallah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha akbar, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-azim. It's very simple. And yet, the business continue, even though still traditional, but continue survival for many years. That's an example how a small business can sustain by having a very strong belief in Allah. And then business that having Ehsan. For example, we have one chicken company called Ayam Bismi in Kedah that love to provide free food to people. As a result, and the chicken receive a lot of orders from all places until they can't even to meet the demand. Of course, this is another thing that they have to improve. Okay, and then some companies that abide by the Maqas Sharia in what does it mean? They have Maqas Sharia because they employ as an advisor, and also they make sure that every decision follow the shura, having the mandate in the organization. You can see they have the Sharia committee, for example. And then you have to provide challenges. This is something for the learners. Try to pick from the story what actually the problem that they face, and then they might be thinking, what could be the ending, the solution. And normally in the case, we don't provide the ending. Unlike in the movie, you have the happy ending. In the case study, we don't provide the happy ending. Okay, we just tell the story up and down, and then like we just put a full stop. So what is the ending? So we don't put the ending because why? Actually, we want people to learn and then to apply the knowledge that related to that particular topic into the discussion. If you put the happy ending, nothing to be discussed. That's why we put the challenges, and we don't provide the exact solution. We just provide some hints. We are wondering, for example, at the end, we're wondering what to do, and then we try here and there. In other words, we are providing you alternatives because we don't want to prescribe. Case study is not prescriptive. It's just descriptive and providing you ways how you can put into your context. And of course, we have the evidence to reinforce our story, okay, with the data, with the, the verbatims, and sometimes with some description about the template, the etc. Okay, this is the characteristic of a case study, and particularly for CSR or whatever topic, so we have to emphasize on that. Okay, brothers and sisters, this is an example that very what I call visible in the context of Malaysia. We call this Maidin Muhammad Holdings Berhad, or known as a Maidin. So this is the what I call the honor now, the honor of Maidin. So some of you from other places, from other countries, might not be familiar, but in Malaysia, when we talk about Maidin, people know this place is affordable. Okay, everything affordable. Okay, it is a everyday low price supermarket. They have supermarket, hypermarket. Okay, people will go there to buy grocery, okay, to buy their stationaries, to buy their toiletries, everything that you have, you can go there and you can buy. And what is interesting, because they provide not just their main business in their hypermarket building, they provided spaces for small businesses to join with them, the sharing of rezeki with them. So they allow those do not have any place to do their business, they provide the spaces. And Maidin also what I call purchase the products of small businesses and put there. Yeah? Okay. Besides, also they have a product that they purchase from elsewhere, but they also have from the small businesses. What actually, they are good at, they never miss. From the beginning of this company started in Kelantan, Kota Baru Kelantan, never miss to give sedekah and give zakat. And they always link with the orphanage, okay, with the tahfiz school, low-income communities. And they always ensure that their products are halal certificated and fair pricing. Even in the COVID-19 situation and the hardship, they maintain this. So what they believe, okay, even if you browse Mr. Maidin, they have Muhammad Maidin, he published his own book and talk about how actually he translate his business. Of course, he got MBA. He is a business graduate. But because this is a family business, he wanted to continue. So very concerned about the halal change and always concerned about the maslahah, the welfare of the people, and he avoid all kind of riba and gharar, and that's why you can see the barakah. What is the barakah? The brand is known to people, and also can strengthen also with the community, okay, in terms of the relationship. Just now, remember I mentioned that they have a very good with the community, right? They are very good with the SMEs, etc. So they are support those people. As a result, people have trust on them. Okay, this is the Maidin business that we have in our country. Okay, beside this Maidin, we have also this is a principle of Maidin, that we can gain from what they have. Okay, they established in 1957 by the father Tuan Maidin Muhammad. Okay, Alhamdulillah, I managed, to see to this the honor, the first honor of Maidin during my undergraduate days at Kuala Lumpur. So, and the one thing that Mr. Maidin loved to to station was at the perfume station. So many sections in Maidin. The one that I went is Maidin in Kuala Lumpur. At the perfume station. You might be wondering why he especially located himself at the perfume section. Then we discovered that actually it's very difficult actually to differentiate with thousands of perfume that he sold. It's halal perfume. But for me, I try one, but I cannot differentiate between one perfume to another perfume. But for the owner, Mr. Maidin, he can differentiate between one perfume to another, and he can also say that this perfume for what event and what situation and what category of people. MashaAllah, very detailed because he has a passion on perfume. And perfume, normally we use perfume in our salat. Okay, one of the what you call encouragement to perform salah is that to make yourself in a very acceptable situation, especially there's the smell. Okay, your smell, the perfume can make people feel better. Okay, and the principle that they apply, of course, this is a Muslim company. They believe in Allah, right? They believe in having to practice justice, to have the amanah, ihsan. Okay, and then of course they don't want to have any gharar, riba, and so forth. So these are the beauty of Maidin. Okay, I myself have visited as a customer, and also I visited Maidin on my capacity as a supervisor for practical trainers of my student. So Alhamdulillah, I could interact with their managers at different states. Okay, the places that I went, not in Kuala Lumpur, other state, to do my practical training supervision on my student. Okay, another one is the Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad, BIMB, which is the first Islamic bank that established in Malaysia. And the idea of Islamic Bank was advocated by our current Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. Okay, when he had the resolution in Islamic Congress, I think OIC, and then after that he brought the matter to the government, okay, during the prime ministership of Tun Dr. Mahathir at that time, and proposed Bank Islam to be established. At the same time, we have IIUM, International Islamic University, together, because when you operate Islamic bank, you cannot go without the Islamic institution. Okay, because this need to be regulated with the Islamic principle, because you don't have the Sharia, council at that time. You do not know how actually to operate in the form that without riba, without ghara and so forth. So IIUM, our university, and also Bank Islam are very close indeed in terms of the what I call interaction, okay? Because we born in the same year. Okay, the principle of this Bank Islam, because it's Islamic bank, of course, they operate as a normal bank, but they apply on the principle of Islam. One thing that I would like to emphasize, beside number one of fardu kifaya, to provide Islamic banking for the Muslim, they also providing the opportunity for people to provide sadaqah. They establish what we call sadaqah house. So this sadaqah house is not a charity actually. Sadaqah house that people donated money is meant for those people, those small business entrepreneurs that do not have the bankability. They are not able to get a financial loan or assistance from any banks, including Islamic banks in our country. So as a result of that, they cannot, have a seed capital. So the initiative from Bank Islam, they created this Sadaqah house so that those who are not able to get will be given the what I call the grants. This is not, they don't have to pay back, but they will be selected and they will be trained, monitored by the Islamic Bank Islam officers until they can fly by their own. They can be independent. It is not incubation. People might be thinking this is incubator. No, Islamic Bank doesn't have the incubator, but they provide what I call the social finance section of Bank Islam with the Sadaqah house. They will go for these entrepreneurs, and the entrepreneur not necessarily must be Muslim. They don't have any requirement must be Muslim. Okay, any one disadvantage, but they are very serious in the business, they will be given this particular opportunity. So that's why we see, banks supposed to provide with profitability, and also they have to enhance, they have to increase the dividend ROI. But for this Bank Islam, they provided with also the opportunity for people, to provide the sadaqah. Okay, so you see now the two examples that very visible. You can see, you go anywhere, you can find them. So now the time for you, brothers and sisters, to start doing at your own level. Okay, how actually to write a case study? You have to select a real business, okay, actual company. Okay, if you can see, not necessarily must be owned by the Muslim. Okay, Toyota doesn't own by the Muslim. Honda doesn't own by the Muslim, owned by the Japanese non-Muslim. But we study Toyota, we study Honda, we study, the Japanese companies. But we are looking at the quality, the icon of Toyota, the Honda, okay, because they have the Islamic values. And also, they have the CSR in the form of we call it justice, fairness, equality, okay, instant karomah. They provide that particular respect to all people, okay, and make sure that we have access to data, okay? And more importantly, number one, when it comes to any research, including case study, we need to get the consent, informed consent that then we wanted to do this in order for education. Okay? It's not easy. Some of them agreed, some of them still don't want. They thought that we are going to do some spying, to get their trade secret and whatnot. So, but we have to be clear. We have to tell them about it. Of course, not easy. Not many companies are willing to share. Yeah, of course, then we define what actual area that we would like to do. Okay, because we cannot do everything. Yeah, because a case mean a story, a specific story. For example, you want to talk about the social welfare, or you want to talk about the environment protection, or you want to talk about ethical business practices, or you want to talk about the employee welfare. Okay, even Toyota, perhaps you just try to look at one aspect. Let's say they are very good in the employee welfare, just focusing on that. Okay, perhaps later on you want to talk about their what you call the practice of minimize waste, the practice of green, for example. All right, and then of course people need to know the background of the organization, the company. Okay, so and then what are the initiatives? Okay, they analyze. Okay, if they have the what call the outcome reporting, and then what are the challenges? Can provide recommendation. Okay, for example, in terms of a format. Okay, so we can have format like format. The title of the case, and then the abstract, introduction, case description, analysis, conclusion, and you have references, and then you need to follow certain format, and then provide with teaching notes. But actually, you want people. Of course, this one you don't publish the teaching notes. Okay, the teaching note will be separated. For those who wanted, the teaching notes will be requested from the journal editor, and then they will release that particular notes. Okay, if they're interested, because normally case we don't publish the teaching notes. Okay, it will be kept by the editorial, if to be referred to by the people. All right. Again, this particular normally, what we did, we cannot get the actual or the primary data. So what I did, we normally do the secondary data. Just now that when I share with you about Maidin, about Bank Islam, actually we obtain the information from their reports. It is not directly, not primary. In other words, this particular information already published. It is a public documents, no more secret. They wanted people to know about what they're doing. So we put them into our case, and then we put the references, because this no secret, they already published. That's why to be safe for our publication of journal, if we cannot get the informed consent from to get the primary data, we cannot get primary data, we cannot get informed consent, so we go for the public companies. Normally, public listed companies, they publish everything, okay? Transparent, everything they publish. You just go to their website, you can find all their annual reports, okay? Basically, the annual report will be the basis for us to write about the case, okay? So we analyze all the case report that they publish in their website. All right, what are actually the element? So as as a case study journal editor, so this is what we wanted to see, in our manuscript or case study that we received. So we like to see the business context, and then we like to see what are the practices, Islamic consumer practices, for example, to use the ethical sourcing, to have whatever activities that they wanted, and then how actually they promote this, how they embed that particular activities into their we call it in their business, and then the impact that they have. And of course, you pose a problem. So what is the problem that that you need to do? Or you want people to pay attention this particular impact so that they can learn from this particular case. All right. Okay. Now come back with all this background that I have. So actually, what actually you want to know from this? Actually, how to analyze Islamic principle that with the CSR. So what actually is CSR from Islamic perspective? The first corporate social responsibility, actually our responsibility related to our role, okay, as servants and viceroy of Allah. How this we can translate into the story? Okay, we see, how actually the manager, the employees, how actually they see themselves, how they put themselves, how they describe themselves. For example, like in annual report, the chairman of the company will mention how they position themselves as management and how they see their employees, how they see their customers, investors, and others. So this we can see, we can derive from the understanding that and actually CSR is not just limited to give charity, but also they can put into their actions in terms of relationship with their subordinates. And then what are the excellent aspects that go beyond the legal compliance or economic compliance? Okay, and then the amanah, the trustworthiness with their stakeholders. Okay, and then what aspect of maqasid syariah that they have in their business activities, and how actually the CSR for them, in the form of their worship. Worship here, not we talk about ritual. In the context of organization, worship is actually we refer to their activities, their routines, their processes, and how actually they reinforce this as part of their routines and also as part of their rite and ritual, but not for ibadah. Worship, we're talking about their consistency of practices. All right, and then we talk about how to create and maintain CSR in their context, how actually they create, how they maintain, how they sustain. Okay, for example, in the context of Maidin, so if this is your framework, so you look at now how they create, how they maintain, okay, how actually they sustain, okay, with the evidences they have from their reports. Okay? This one I found from the reports, and then what actually we can relate to the specific value of CSR. This is just the framework. You develop this framework before you write your story. Your story will be based on your creativity. Some people use narrative, novel style. That is your creativity. But the foundation will be based on this area. Okay, and then we want to examine the real case study, the responsible consequences, etc. Okay, what actually how they are responsible. For example, Maidin. Okay, they're talking about they always obtain their sources from the root, from the farm, that they closely monitor, they help them. Mean to say they know that these particular contractors or their sources of supplies are really trustworthy, no mixing of haram things, etc. Okay, and then they help also the contractors also to meet the halal requirement, okay, and also the another like green packaging, etc. And then we go for study documents, we study the reports, and if we have extra, we have more energy, we have fun, we have someone can have funding, then we can go for the observation and also interviews. Okay. All right, and then how we can have Sharia conversation from our case study. So in other words, like in the bank Maidin context, how actually they translate these values into the actions. Okay, and then from there also we wanted the Ummah to think critically about the ummatic solution. So just now in the morning, people talk about the circular economy. People talk about how to apply the AI. And then how to have the permission marketing, to be ethical marketing. This also can be incorporated, okay, into the Sharia compliance matters. All right. So, brothers and sisters, the key takeaways from my presentation here is that to write a case study require our passion and dedication. Okay, because we do this not because we wanted to, for example, for academics to get more merits for publication, but because this one is because we wanted to have material to demonstrate, to reinforce the learning into the business studies. Okay, and then number two, we talk about the responsible consumerism is the marketing slogan. Okay, it is, it's a lifestyle. It is our culture. Okay, it is our belief, our conviction. Okay, and then real world case study provide the strategic and tested framework. Theoretically, we might be very good, explain everything. But when come to reality, face the ups and downs, to ensure the tawheed, the belief, the sharia, the halal assurance, something that not easy, because you are having a lot of challenges. Okay, you have to face your competitors. So what to do? So we can help our businesses to design. They can learn from the case study. Sometimes you don't have to. Sometimes you need, before you engage a consultant, you need to prepare yourself, because sometimes to engage consultant very expensive. So by reading first the cases, so they can give you an idea how you can do your homework before you can get a consultant or someone else to help you, or perhaps to get that's why we need to have collaboration between the industry and academia like us, to come and how to to see our businesses, whether or not our business in the right path, to seek the mardatillah or to be compliant with Sharia. All right, brothers and sisters. Again, this is just to share with you our academician from this session. Okay, I think almost all of us involved in giving this. If you're interested to pursue academic, so you can pursue a PhD. Besides PhD, because last time people asked whether or not in our school have other than this. Yeah, we have. Okay, for those who are don't have undergrad degree, or you already have degree but you wanted to study on our Bachelor of Business Management and also a Bachelor of Business Administration, you can always contact us, because we have a two format of our Bachelor of Business. One is the full-time, the other one is for the executive, for the working people. And then just now our marketing lecturers are talking about marketing from Islamic perspective. How you are interested to do more research and also to do some coursework, you can enroll in a Master of Science in Marketing. This is mixed mode coursework with the dissertation. And then to further, we have our PhD Business Administration to continue. Because last time people asked what are the program that we have. So I took this opportunity to inform you these are our programs, right? That we have to help the community to further their understanding, because whatever we give in this session, they are on the tip of the iceberg and not to be detailed, because we are just giving at the certificate level. Okay, if you are interested to know our activities, okay, you can always follow us, okay, at our website, okay, our social media, and also you can contact us for more information. All right, so with that, I end my session, and I would like to hear or to communicate with, to engage with all of you in case you have a session. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much,
Welcome.
Prof. So
Yeah.
open for Q&A now.
All right, I see. Okay, one from Dr. Tariqul Islam. Okay. Alhamdulillah, thank you very much. You'll be using the material from our case. Okay, and any other question? Only one. Okay. Okay, there's religiosity, all right. Religiosity happens, yes. And actually, what is the meaning of spirituality and religiosity? Spirituality in the general context is your soul, okay? Your feeling, okay? What is your feeling? You feel happy, you feel unhappy, satisfied, or not satisfied. Okay, that's a human in general. Okay, and then when you are happy, when you feel encouraged, you feel brave, that will steer, that will, spark your motivation, to work harder. Then when it comes to the religiosity, I'm not talking about religion. Religiosity here, we refer to you are consistent and passionate about what you're doing. Okay, we talk in general, when people have spirituality, mean people have the conviction, the belief for something. Yeah? Mean to say they have big picture, they have their vision, and they wanted to achieve their vision. And then, in order to achieve their vision, that's why they translate their vision into their mission. And this mission actually their religiosity. Mean to say, what actually the breakdown of activities they need to do consistently in order to achieve their vision. That one is in general, the meaning of spirituality and religiosity. But when it comes to Tawhidic paradigm, okay, or Tawhidic epistemology, when we talk about spirituality, it's actually the Ruhi. Yeah? We have the Tawhid Uluhiyah, okay, and Tawhid Rububiyah. Tawhid Uluhiyah, it is the declaration of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. We believe and we submit ourselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala completely, to submit ubudiyah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even though we have the power to decide otherwise, but we don't. We refrain our power, but we submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And then in order to demonstrate our Tawhid Uluhiyah, that we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, we have the Arkanul Iman, okay? Believe in Allah, believe in angel and kitab and so forth, 6 Arkanul Iman. And then the religiosity comes into the Arkanul Islam, La ilaha illallah. And then we have the Salat, okay, we have the Zakat, okay, we have the fasting, okay, finally we have the Hajj. So Salat, it is daily, okay, daily, 5 times a day, 5 times a day. And then Zakat, yearly. Fasting, the mandatory one, yearly, okay, in Ramadan, 30 days complete in Ramadan. Okay, Hajj, once in lifetime. Okay, people gathered at one place in Makkah and wukuf in the Arafah. Okay, and then Muzdalifah, okay? And then you go to the Mina, okay, Makkah, the Masjid al-Haram, yeah, to do all the Hajj. These are the religiosity. You have to do it, okay, to demonstrate your iman. So how to do it? So how to put into our action? It means that always, just now our speaker mentioned, Dr. Siti Mariam mentioned about niat. Or even Dr. Suharni also mentioned about niat. Niat actually our spirituality put into action. So we put niat because innamal a'malu binniat. Every action must begin with niat. Why niat important? Because remember, Tawhid Uluhiyah. We wanted to worship Allah, submit to Allah. In order to be validated, okay, to be accepted by Allah, our amal, our ibadah, therefore our ibadah must follow that particular requirement. Okay, that's how. But when come to the context of customer religiosity, means that they believe and they will practice. Just now in the morning, people ask the circular economy, why people cannot practice circular economy? Why they still have waste? Why they still creating waste? Because they don't have the enough awareness, enough knowledge. Okay, because if human beings are without knowledge, they became ignorance. When they became ignorant, they will be zulum. Zulum means injustice to themselves. But in order to make them believe, so there's need to have evocation, da'wah, okay, awareness. People like us who are in this course, who are aware about the need to practice lean management, to have circular economy, we are the one practice and also preach. Okay, practice and preach, not preach, practice. Because if you look at the Prophet ﷺ, Prophet practice, then Prophet preach. Okay, so dakwah, when you dakwah is amar ma'ruf nahi munkar, is obligation. So force us to practice. Before we practice, we need to get the knowledge. Okay, we need to get knowledge so that we can practice. Wallahu a'lam. And then regarding what else? All right, how can you explain this particular matter, CSR Islamic thing to non-Muslim? I already mentioned just now, in Islamic context, Islam context, because Islam is Adin. Okay, Islam is rahmatan lil alamin. It's not just meant for the believers. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Okay, Tuan Haji Samsul, because if you want to explain about the CSR to people, we ask ourselves what actually we can do the best for ourselves, our family, and our community. Look at our surroundings. Is our surrounding good? Is our surrounding can be improved? Can our surrounding can be better off? The better off, we wanted to improve, right? The people love to live in the better environment, good environment. Okay, so do you believe that? Now, let's start. Do you believe in having a good river? Okay, I think Tuan Haji Samsul love to have a brisk walk along the river of, in front of UKM. So when you have the interaction, people love river. Okay, for myself, I had brisk walk, but not today. Brisk walk at Taman Metropolitan Kepung, to have one circle. I see the lake, and then we see the fish. We see the nature. We feel love. We feel intact with the nature. We so love the nature. But ask ourselves, what happen if whatever we see disappear? And people say, oh yeah, we don't want. Okay, if you don't want, so we have to preserve it. So in order to preserve it, we have to take a part. For example, do you like to see our places that we brisk walk to have rubbish? No, right? Pick the rubbish. But some people say, no, that is not my duty. But isn't that place belongs to us? That's context of environment. But when come to company, do you like to see people fatigue, people tired, and they have to go to hospitalized, and they have to suffer from NCD, non-communicable disease, with diabetes, etc. Don't want, yes. How to make it less? How to make it avoidable? How to prevent this? Let's join brisk walking. Like, Tuan Haji Samsul love to have brisk. Invite people to go for the brisk walking. That's a small practice. Yeah, we start from small. we everything start from small. I remember. I can't remember which general mentioned. If you cannot you cannot have your bed clean and neat, we cannot expect that you can do the best in the battlefield. Okay, and when it comes to the Muslim soldier during the Osmania, the Ottoman Empire, they have to make sure that all the soldiers perform the tahajjud, tahajjud, and also they must have the good niyat. And for the battle is not for fame, for popularity, and also but rather for the sake of Allah. And they have to make sure that this practice into the SOP. This is something that's why the Japanese, they believe in Kaizen. Kaizen, of course, is they want to improve based on their religion. But the concept of Kaizen is always improve. So we can see that particular Kaizen value is actually itqan. Okay, in our Islamic perspective, it's itqan. Itqan means always improve. So Japanese, they use Kaizen, and they use also Ikigai. Okay, they use this concept of India belief, but they believe and they put into practice. So I always use Toyota, Honda, because these are the non-Muslim companies. Because you say Muslim company, then you say by now. I could see that in Toyota and Honda. All right. So another word, to get that's what you call da'wah bilha. Da'wah bilha, you don't have to say. You bring them. For example, bring into the project. For example, in the community, in the company, also you can have that particular section. All right, and then okay, so about the fee study, you can contact us. You can also browse in our IOM website. They have the fee for the local and also for the international. And what else? And then okay, yeah. The da'wah bilha is very important because sometimes I also have to improve myself because remember our faculty had workshop at one hotel, and then in the morning after Subuh prayer, we saw a group of people, very religious, they walk. By the time that we joined them, they already sweat a lot. And I was like, where they came from. And then they park along the highway, with all the cars, etc. And then I thought these people are just young people, but my surprise, I could see, people of in the age of 70s, across 80s, can run very fast. And myself, I cannot run, because of my weight, I cannot run. If I hurt my knees, I say this is something that will be help from them. Even though I could see they are not Muslim by their appearance, I think most of them, because, and also by the language that they spoken in Mandarin, and then wow, they are very religious, and that's why, at almost 80, they're still healthy. And then also the people that I came through, at the metropolitan, 80, 90 still, can run, men and women, subhanallah. So what happened to us, we wake up, Fajr, Tahajjud, etc. But we are the one that suffer the NCD, diabetes, etc. Wallah, subhanallah. I myself also need to to correct myself about, health, the NCD, because I also in the list of the NCD. Okay, something that, I talk, at the same time also have to correct myself. Does customer religiosity had their perception of and respond to? Yes, because if you don't believe, you don't practice. If you force, it won't last long. Okay? For example, something that is not natural, if people doing it just for the sake of getting something, it will not last long. You have to instill that belief. All right, the belief must be instilled, then the action. That's why in Japanese company, they do it every day. Okay? Honda and Toyota, in the morning before work, they start with the morning briefing and exercise. All right, and after that, you follow SOP, and the break in the afternoon lunch, they will eat together. Why? Together means teamwork. Go for. All right, and at the end, before they leave, they will have the debriefing, muhasabah, what they have done. If you were to do it, many times, once you might be resistant, twice resistant. But, actually based on human psychology, if you do it for 40 times, you will becoming accustomed to you. So that's why in Japanese company, they never stop that practice, because they want, I think the saying, practice makes perfect. There's a perfect itqan or kaizen. So practice. That's why in our Islamic pillars of Islam, salat. Some people ask, how come, I don't have sincerity, I don't have khushu', I cannot concentrate in my salat. The answer, if my salat has no value, why I salat? No. The answer is not. You still have to salat even though you are not sincere, even though you don't have the khushu', because salat is from Sharia, is wajib. Okay, that is the Sharia, wajib. But talking about the spirituality, whether or not you can earn the level of khushu', the level of, very close, that one require practice. That's why continue to practice 5 times. If 5 times are not able to make you sincere, go for nawafil. Okay, 2, 4, 4. Zuhur before Zuhur, 4 after Zuhur, 4. 4, 4, 4. There must be people asking, what could be the benefit? Why is that? The emphasize 4 nawafil before Zuhur and 4 after Zuhur and 4 rakat. Altogether 12 rakat. Can you see? When we practice that, actually the Zuhur time is the time that, after we took our lunch, we became lazy. Yeah? But when we perform 4 times before Zuhur, we prepare ourselves for the Salat Zuhur. So 4 rakat, after another 4, reinforce. No more sleepy. That's why Qailullah, there's nap actually before the Zuhur. So that nap for 5 or 10 minutes, you refresh yourself, and then when the cause Azan Zuhur, before Zuhur Jama'ah, you salat for 4 times nawafil, You prepare yourself with energy. And then Salat Zuhur 4, and then after the 4, can you see? After that, you don't feel more fatigue. You continue to work until Asar. This is our own experience, some this, but from believers, they accept. Samina wa ata'na. But when we experience, then we feel, oh, no wonder, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet sallallahu put this way, beside the obligation, we also have the salat sunat to reinforce. So in other words, the religiosity need to do. Religion, that's why we say, these people are he done the work religiously. I think in English they use the term, religiously mean he or she never stop. That's called religiously. So religious here in Islam, the rukun of Islam. So the spirituality, the rukun of Iman. But it has to be put into action. So the matter of sincerity will come later. But more importantly, we have to do it. All right. This one also the same thing. CSR, difficult for company to do it because they have, I mentioned in the past, resistance. Why, to do this, to think about welfare, to think about the planet, to think about other guys. Wow, this is something that, very difficult. But if you think, if you don't do, what happened to the environment? What happened to the landfill? That's why, product producers under the SD12, under SDG 12 of the Sustainable Development Goal 12, responsible production and consumption, producers need to think before they produce any product to make sure that where will be their product to be disposed by the consumers. This need to be, that's why they have the circular economy. Think about what happened to the end of the product. If the end of the product will be left into the landfill, then there is no circular economy. But some people make it like, go to the landfill, people go to landfill for another risky for them. They can collect some. That one, not circular economy. There's some people say that one you call sometimes, down cycling economy. In other words, people are not actually go for circular economy, but they are recycling for benefit of them. Wallahu alam. That's my response to our question. Any more? Okay, yeah. So please salat subuh for those in Nigeria. May Allah bless you. I think if you miss, you can always refer to the YouTube. They have the YouTube that you can watch later, inshallah. YouTube, you have the Facebook also. Wallahu alam. That's from me. Inshallah, see you again in my next session. Okay, next week, inshallah. Wallahu alam. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Prof, for your
Welcome.
meaningful, insightful, and wonderful presentation today, mashallah. Hopefully
Alhamdulillah.
all of us can grab all the benefit that you have shared today. And thank you also for answer all the question. May Allah bless you, Prof,
Amin.
with
Amin.
grand Jannatul Firdaus.
Amin.
Okay, hope to see you next week, inshallah.
Inshallah. Amin.
And before we end our class today, let's doa with Kitab Al-Fatihah and Tasbih Kifarah and Surah Kitab Al-Fatihah, sorry. Tasbih Kifarah and Surah Al-Asr. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal 'asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus solihati wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. With that, we end our class. We still have two more class, inshallah.